Here we go. It is January 25th, the year of our Lord, 2023. It's the weekly Alaboom. The internet's or the YouTube's longest running weekly live stream about nothing important anyway.
Pretty much.
How are you doing, Barry?
I'm okay, other than the weather.
Is it making fun of your whatever it is, your ailments, if you will?
Yeah, makes it hard for me to stand straight, walk, the fun stuff.
Wow, who needs that?
Yeah, who needs that? I sleep well usually though, if it's a real bad storm.
You sleep well if it's a really bad storm, like you sleep through the pain then, or what?
Yeah, it just has me up for so long I get exhausted and I just finally crash. Yeah. Because I could be up for 2 or 3 days before a storm hits.
What, you just can't sleep or what?
Yeah, it's either the pain or the tightness,
Mm-hmm.
I've always had a problem where if I get a second wind, I'm up. It's like I could run off of 3 hours. I prefer 4, but if I get a second wind, I could cut it down to 2. Yeah.
You have a did you ever have a method of falling asleep, like what you do? Like, I mean, we've talked a little bit about exhaustion.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said before on here that like my secret power is my ability to fall asleep. Like if I just say, yeah, it's time to go to bed, it's time to go to bed. What I do like is I like something to occupy my brain. So I'll listen to music. And once again, I've told the story before, long time listeners, but 0-time callers, have when I was a kid, I remember I had my very first ever radio. It was the Sesame Street radio. It was this little like box, and it had like Bert and Ernie, and it had the Cookie Monster and Big Bird, and they just were on top of it that made it look like they were singing, but it was just a radio. And then my mom would let me turn it on and like listen to music as I was falling asleep. And after I fell asleep, she'd come in and turn it off. And so I would, but I remember like when I was living on like the last place I lived, my 1-bedroom apartment where I lived by myself before I started, dating my wife, and she was my wife then. She was a real statement. But like in that, I mean, I would fall asleep. I had illegally downloaded many episodes of Adult Swim cartoons, like home movies, and I would just play those on my computer, and I would close my eyes and I just listened to it as I fell asleep, because I'd watched the episode so many times I knew what was going on the screen, so I could picture it in my head, and that would let me fall asleep really, and it would let me fall asleep. Yeah, this is I wore this for you, Kabuki. This is my Misfits Minnesota t-shirt. Minnesota, but
no, I used to listen to talk radio or easier music, like country or folk or something, not hard music.
Yeah,
but I had to be black. I was working night shift though, sleeping during the day, so that could be part of it. I had to black out the rooms. I couldn't have a TV on or any light flashing. That would drive me nuts. But I've grown accustomed to that, I think, from all that time in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then for like the longest, and then after I started going out with my wife, like she couldn't stand to have any she couldn't stand to hear she had to have like either she have a fan going. So I had a fan, and she'd have that, but I see that doesn't do anything for me. Like white noise doesn't do anything for me. It's got to be something that I could tune my brain into and listen. And so that didn't do anything for her. And she couldn't fall asleep if I had. So for a while there, I was having trouble otherwise my brain just starts rolling around and like thinking of all kinds of stuff and then it starts thinking about, oh, what do I got to take care of tomorrow? What do I got to do tomorrow? I start, worrying about whether or not I'm, take care of my stuff. And so then I have trouble falling asleep. So I would like start like thinking about just random stuff. Like, what are my top 10 favorite science fiction novels? And I would just start thinking about different science fiction novels I've read. Or I think about what was like, if I was going to run a D&D campaign, how would I create it? What would I do? And I just start creating a story in my head when I fall asleep. Now I have some, I have a pair of, hey, right here. I just have some Bluetooth headphones that I put in and I'll listen to like a podcast or something. So I can just listen to that. And it's just like, and I don't, it's ridiculous because like, it's literally, I listen to it for maybe 2 minutes and then I'm out. I mean, I don't remember anything that I want. Oh yeah, I'll spend 15 minutes searching for a podcast to listen to, and it's like, oh, hey, this is cool. Some like HP Lovecraft, podcast or something, and then I'll start listening to it, and I'll remember like I'll pay attention, and then I'm out. And then next thing I know, it's whatever 3 or 4 in the morning when I have my first wake up and kind of roll over and put my headphones back in. I can't remember the last time I slept straight through a night. I do know that. It's like, I remember as a kid, I remember falling asleep and like literally not waking up until it was morning. And that just doesn't happen for me. At some point, like I wake up, I have to like fidget, move the pillow.
I get that once a year up the mountains, just for some reason up the mountains. I guess it's the silence, which is kind of funny. They kind of bothered me when I moved from Philly to Jersey. Not hearing that train bothered me. Yeah. But up there, you don't hear anything pretty much at night. So at least 1 or 2 nights up there, I'll get it like nothing, like morning till night. I won't, or night till morning. I won't get up at least once.
If I ever got really, 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 really tired, I would. Like I'll like, I mean, but I've got to be exhausted, and then I'm out. I mean, some of like my memories of like the best ever sleep I've ever had in my entire life are, situations where like I had to work all night, and then the next day I had to get in the car and I had to drive to like Minneapolis to go. Like that was like one of the most restful sleeps I ever had in my entire life. I had to work all night. I got off work at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and at 7 o'clock I had to drive to Minneapolis to go meet up with some people so I could go to a Pink Floyd concert. It's like, I'm dead tired, but if I fall asleep, I'm not going to wake up. So I just stayed up. 7 o'clock, I drove my car to the cities, and then I was like, when I got there, I was like, I'll get here. Concert's not till 7. I'll take a nap when I get to the cities. And then it was like everybody wanted to go and do stuff and go do this and that and the other thing. So I ended up going and doing that. Went to the concert, got through the concert. We went and got food afterwards, and we went back to, and then me and my friends, my sister had an apartment there. And I remember like we were going to crash there, and it was a pretty small apartment. And my sister was like, well, there's like, she's like, there's a couch, and there's a chair somebody could sleep in, and there's a spot on the floor. And my sister said, if somebody wants to, she's like, she had a window that led out to a fire escape. You can just, because it was summer, she's like, you can sleep outside. And I was like, I'll do that. I was like, just give me a blanket and a pillow. And I like,
then it rained.
Yeah, no. And I literally, I remember I was so tired. I remember I to this day, I just remember how exhausted I was. I remember I went out there, and there was like a wooden platform on it. So it wasn't like it was bars or anything like that. But I remember, so it was like, it was a flat surface. It wasn't. And I remember I put the pillow down, and I laid down, and I put this like thin comforter over the top of me. I remember, and like the sound of the traffic and everything. I remember it was like I closed my eyes, and then next thing I know, I woke. It was like 9 a.m. I was up. I was like, oh, no dreams, no nothing, just.
Yeah, I always feel wrong with that type of sleep though. like with the operations, the drugs do that to you. It's like you wake up, you're going under, and then you wake up and you're there. It's
Yeah.
like I kind of feel robbed after that. I'm always tired. The best sleep I ever got was because of exhaustion. I was hiking the Appalachian Trail, and it was probably the second day because that approach trail kicked my ass the first day. But just being out in the open like that, like I don't even think I put the tent up. you know, it's probably the best sleep I got was on the trail. Again, you're walking all day with the shit, but you're exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy how you it's just sleep can just it is super fast. And yeah, but I don't know, it's good stuff. I don't know what's interesting in the world to talk about right now. One half of the creative team of Rick and Morty is a horrible human being, allegedly, and has been basically fired off of the Justin Roiland was arrested on.
Who's this? The creator or
Well,
the voice actors?
him and Dan Harmon were the creators, and he does the voice of both Rick and Morty. Justin Roiland does, and yeah. So
I did not hear about this.
yeah, no, he was arrested for felony domestic assault and felony false imprisonment, stemming from an incident in like 2020 or 2021. I just heard it, and yeah, and
like a fight that might have got out of hand. Yeah,
and then like yesterday, Adult Swim just basically said like a very brief thing, and all it said was Adult Swim has
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, basically Adult Swim is no longer working with Justin Roiland. Rick and Morty will continue. Our team is working hard on season 7.
How are they going to do that without the voice actor?
I mean, yeah, I mean, what do you do? I mean,
they changed like Charlie Brown did after what's his name died.
I mean, you could get somebody to do a voice a lot like it, I suppose. I mean, there's nothing to prop that. I mean, and
technology now, you probably don't even need a person.
In my opinion, like for example, you mentioned Kevin Spacey and House of Cards. Like they never should have done that final season. That final season was horrible. It was just garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't. Or if they did, I think it was rushed because of all the shit that was going on at the time. If they did do it, they should have figured out what the hell they wanted to do.
Well, and it was one of those things where they it was that season, it was just garbage. And and what Netflix should have done, I mean, of course, hindsight 2020, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
they should have just said, we're done. We're not going to do anymore. Just and been over. And just not worried about it anymore. I mean, that's, I guess, my opinion. I mean, it was just like, yeah. I mean, just unfortunately, we can't do the final chapter of this, but moving forward.
I can't remember. Was this the second last season? Did that wrap itself up pretty much or not? I don't remember.
I don't remember now. Which one?
The one before they killed them off. I can't remember how that ended.
Well, they killed him off. I mean, I never watched the final season, but I read a synopsis of it. They killed him off and then the mystery was, how did he die? And then it was basically Stamper was the one who killed him, because it was just like both to preserve his legacy and also like, because
that was the last. I mean, the previous season wasn't he?
Well, the previous one, like in the previous one, he was supposed to, like, there was a big plan where he was going to resign as president, and then
That's right,
his
yeah.
wife was going to become the
take over.
president, and then she was going to pardon him, and then he was going to come back basically because he
Yeah.
would be, and then that would be, and then so she did that, but then didn't pardon him, and that was how the season ended. Like it was just one of those
Right.
things where it was like, oh, like haha or whatever. And now she's in charge, and she got what she wanted, kind of thing.
So they basically could have wrapped it up there.
They could have, but they wanted, but and theoretically, there's probably supposed to be one big giant final,
right.
Figured out what happens between the two of them or everything like that, and then but they killed him off screen. It came out, if I remember correctly, that Stamper, his chief of staff, was the one who killed him under orders of his wife, and then his wife murders Stamper inside the White House in the final episode.
Yeah, I did watch the last one. I don't remember. It was a while ago.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I do remember the British version of House of Cards that House of Cards is based on. In the British version, the guy, it's kind of the same thing. He does all the same stuff as they did, like he but he ends up actually, because he wants to he basically wants to be remembered as being, something, whatever.
Right.
He actually plots his own assassination, and he's killed while he's in office, and then he's remembered forever as being this glorious
type,
pioneer, JFK type thing. Yeah. So, but that was like the British version.
Yeah. Well, we copy a lot of TV off of the Brits.
Well, yeah. I mean,
and vice versa, I'm sure.
Or maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I know. What else is going on in the world? God, I mean, I
sure remember.
I've gotten so little sleep lately because we got this new puppy, and like it's like having a newborn. It's like he's almost there. He's almost through the sleeping through the night thing. He's
really my
almost
cats
there.
are 8 and 5, I think, and they're still not through the sleeping through the night phase.
Well, yeah, but a cat takes care of itself. I mean, like both of our other dogs, I mean, they might get up and wander around the house sometime, but they just sleep, and as soon as we get up, they get out of bed and they're like, oh, time to go outside, and
I don't miss that. Get up to let them out and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the dog is, he's adorable as heck, and he's teething, so he's gnawing on things and gnawing on people, and you tend to argue with him a little bit, and then you find yourself, why am I talking to this dog? You start losing your mind.
I was talking to Jen about that earlier. We got the cats neutered, and they're pretty big. Yeah, they're pretty big cats. Yeah, and I was like, I wonder, because when you neuter them, you cut off the testosterone. I was thinking, how much bigger would they have gotten if we hadn't gotten them neutered? Yeah, I was thinking the same with the dogs. Like you could tell, like even a golden retriever, one that was fixed and one that wasn't. Just their heads are bigger, boxier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get your guys neutered or no?
Yeah. I mean, our dogs are fixed. One of our cats is fixed. Basically the stray that we got, she isn't fixed. She should be. We should get her fixed. Just because when she gets into heat, that's when you hear that cat.
Yeah. The
idea that somehow some male cat is just going to appear and be there.
The cat. I was cleaning yesterday or this morning. I forget what. But I got a French door over here with a screen on it, and a squirrel was climbing down from the roof on the screen, going down to the patio. And my cat's here jumping up and down, trying to get the squirrel at the door. I was like, what the hell's going on? But here, the squirrel came down and he stood there for about 15 minutes fucking with the cat. He's like running back and forth out of sight and coming back and looking around the corner of the house to see that the cat was there. It's like, it amazes me how these different species will still interact with each other. I see that with the birds a lot too.
Well, squirrels are
get
weird,
along
man.
like
Maybe
that?
it just had a death threat.
You never
Maybe
know.
a death
You
wish,
never
you know,
know.
just like,
Them little
just,
stud.
I'm done.
Mhm.
I, I'm cashing out.
Mhm.
You never know. Squirrels are weird.
I was the cover blew off the smoke, or one of them was in there, got all of his nuts in the tray of the bottle. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do here. You know, I don't want to destroy his nest, but I don't want him in there chewing on the piping and shit. You know. I got a lot more tolerant with them in my old age.
More tolerant of
Squirrels, rodents in general. Yeah. I went to war with a groundhog back here. I mean, it went for months. Tricky so I think the huskies in the back scared them away. When the neighbors moved in with the two huskies, they put up iron fences because they were afraid that the dogs would knock down the cycling fence. I think that scared them away finally. Or the fox got them, one or the other. Yeah,
got a lot of foxes.
I've seen two during the shutdown during the pandemic was the first time I ever seen it, and it was scrawny. Here, I've seen them out hunting and all, but I mean here. And then it was right after I came back from hunting. I seen another one, a pretty big one, out in the yard. So that's two in what 3 years, I guess. I don't know if it's the same one or not, but he, I just don't. These are all fenced off. It just surprised me that I'm in the middle of the block, basically. Just surprised me he'd be in my yard. Yeah. There's woods like right outside of the development here, so it doesn't surprise me that he's around. There's deer running around and rabbits, all sorts of rabbits. Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of rabbits. I actually see wood the other night. It surprised me. I figured they'd be bunkered down for the winter, but going to Wawa the other night, one was out.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, there was something else that I found that was newsworthy to me that
Mel Brooks is making a sequel. Give me a minute.
What?
Mel Brooks is making a sequel. Give me a minute to
remember. I know. Isn't that crazy? I read that now. It's like,
what was it?
There's no way. I mean, I was like,
that
blew me away. I was just like, and he's gonna, they're actually gonna make History of the World part 2, and he's gonna be in it. I mean, he's 97 years old. I'm sure he'll have a very small part or just speaking or something like that. But
you never know. Last time I think the last time I seen him on something, he was pretty with it and all that, physically.
Well, I know. I think he's with it. I mean, I think it's just you have a physical limitation.
No, that's what I mean. Physically, I think he was pretty with it. Yeah. Him and the what was the other guy? The Norman, the producer of all them shows back in the day. He did All in the Family and the Jeffersons. I can't remember the guy's name. He's up there with Mel Brooks. They're best friends. It'll come to me.
It'll come to you.
It'll come to me. I can't remember his name now. Not Norman Reed.
Norman Lear.
Norman Lear, yeah.
Okay.
They both seem like they're physically and mentally, capable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen History of the World Part 1. If they don't have Jews in space, and I'm gonna
they did. It was Spaceballs.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's supposed to be that wasn't called Jews in Space.
I haven't seen that one in a while either.
History of the World Part 1 has that that moment where he's like the deaf and blind man or whatever, and he gets hit, and he says, "I can see, I can hear, but who am I?" Just like, horrible stuff. You know, personal tragedies are hilarious or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's do that. Here, I haven't thought about it. You know, so Mel Brooks movies, I mean,
No, bro.
they tend to be, um, you know, like, you know, like they tend to be, you know, as far as I'm not talking about movies that he was in, I'm talking about like movies that he either produced or,
Directed. Yeah.
yeah, or directed or whatever. So let me think here. Uh, I'm pulling up his filmography right now on the old filmography. Mel Brooks on screen and stage. So film, Blim. So here, this is, so these are, so if you haven't seen them, okay, obviously the producers, but which, you know, is good. I mean, if you haven't watched the producers, do so. And I don't think like the redo with Nathan Lane or whatever was still good too. But I mean, watch the original.
Yeah.
It's obviously Blazing Saddles
Right. Yeah.
is great. But then of course now the all-time best thing that he had anything to do with, Young Frankenstein, which I mean, I just Young Frankenstein. It's so stupidly. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's ridiculous how good it is. I mean, it's just. I don't even know how to. I mean, it's just. It's. I don't. There isn't like any wasted moments on for that movie at all, in any of it. It just. You know. I mean, silent movie was not great. My
I
opinion.
remember that one.
Yeah, exactly. High Anxiety also not great. Here's the Road Part 1. I enjoyed it. It didn't get like the reviews, I guess. I heard that it was kind of panned a little bit. Then of course Spaceballs, hilarious. Life Stinks, not good. Yeah,
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, again, not great. Robin Hood Men in Tights. I mean,
we just watched that the other day. Jed did.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some moments, but it was kind of, I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. Dracula Dead and Loving It. That was not even with even with Leslie Nielsen and what have you. It just wasn't good. And yeah, I mean, other than that, that's he just hasn't really done anything. Those are the movies that he did. He had some voices, and I mean, he's acted in other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's done a lot of voiceover work, as far as in animated movies. A lot of that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is it weird that like he's probably best known for just being Mel Brooks, in my opinion?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I mean, he's just
Sort of like, what's his name? The guy who played in The Fly and Jurassic Park and whatever. What the fuck? Jeff Goldblum. These guys just known for being him. He's done some good work, but for the most part, he's just known for being him.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's kind of transcended the whole process.
But good for him. He's in his 90s, right? Making a movie.
96.
Yeah.
96 years young. Speaking of older people that recently passed away, David Crosby.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're losing a lot of that generation. Jeff.
Well, it's the generation. If you think about it too much, it's like literally the generation ahead of us.
Yeah.
That's like it's
Well, ahead of you, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so which if you start thinking about that too much, then the grim specter of death starts looming over your shoulder. But
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I think your generation. I'm kind of at the tail end of your generation, our generation. Like I'm right on the line there. Me and Forrest, but we're gonna definitely outlive. Most of us are definitely going to outlive the previous one. I think just the previous one outlived. Like Babe was in his 80s when he died. And he had a tough life. Him and Wild Bill both. They fought in World War One, World War Two rather, and then the shipping docks all their lives and all that. The other one worked in the whiskey refinery there. And they lived in their 80s. It makes sense. These guys are living in their 90s. Soon will be hundreds. Will be average. Me and Jen were talking about. You can definitely see a change in how the generations look between. I think between maybe not Gen X, but maybe the boomers and the previous one. You could definitely tell they look younger and compared to the other ones at their age and stuff like that. Yeah. I guess it's sights. We were fed. I don't know.
I don't know,
but
but
I wonder if that's a good thing sometimes. Like living that long. We'll see.
well, indeed, we'll see.
Mm.
I wonder if trying to remember. I wonder. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to think of all the bands that like my dad used to listen to. Like how many of them are still like active? Like they still like, like weirdly enough, like my father and I went to a oh, I can't think of his name right now. Canadian folk singer. He sings the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh, oh, Jesus Christ! What is his name?
I can't think of it either.
Yeah, one of the monkeys, I think that. Or
No, it wasn't one of the monkeys.
No, they did the
insane.
recover of it, a cover of it, or maybe it was the Beach Boys. Yeah, it was the Beach Boys did a cover of it. Oh, I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, no, I got it because Kabuki gave it to me. Like it was like a good 10 12 years ago. My dad was like, hey, I got an extra ticket for a Gordon Lightfoot concert, you want to go to it? And I was just like, yeah, why not? The chances of me ever getting this option again to see Gordon Lightfoot in concert, I went to go watch Gordon Lightfoot play at like a small little 1,000-person arena. And yeah, and I got and I knew like 4 songs by him, like sundown, you better take care. I find you my backstairs. Sometimes
Yeah, my mother used to love that. Well, that's what they grew up on.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking Rod Stewart's going back out on tour. My mother loved him.
Well, he's a million.
Yeah, he's got to be close to 90, or at least in his mid 80s. The Stones, I remember her going to see them before she.
And they're a million years old.
Yeah,
but they're done now, right? They're like.
Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I know Aerosmith's pretty much done. Who else? The Beatles, the only two left. I think Ringo Starr stopped touring.
Richard Starkey.
Yeah. I don't remember if McCartney's done. I think he does some stuff, not much. But again, they're all in their 80s, I'm sure, by now. Yeah, I think Paul was the youngest of them, wasn't he? I don't remember.
Maybe.
I don't remember. Lennon was the oldest, I believe. Who else? The Roots, they still go on once in a while. My mother listened to them a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, they've got to be like they got to be done touring. I mean, because they just, I mean, you just don't have the.
The industry's changed with that too. It's not quite the same as it used to be. It's.
Well, and what's weird is that so like if you go back and so when I heard David Crosby passed away, like I remember I used to listen to, my dad had a really good stereo. I mentioned that before. I remember being in his house. He was always listening to music, and like and if we were outside in his backyard playing, he would point, his speakers, out. He put them in the window wells of his house, and so he'd point the speakers outside so we could hear the music. He would always do that, and they. We would sit there, and that was like Crosby, Stills, Nash. It was something that like was something that he played a lot. I remember we'd listen. And so I like when I heard he passed away, I went and I turned on. I started listening to some of the music, and I mean I was like it was like I was getting chills, just because I remember it was like it wasn't like I really like remembered certain moments or whatever of being at my dad's house, but I mean it wasn't like I was getting this flood of memories, but it was like it was unlocking that little memory stick or whatever in my brain, and it was just kind of like lost myself in the music. It was nice. I mean, I mean, it's just, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean the music's any better or worse than anybody else's music. It just means that it had a thing where you're there and you kind of existed at that moment, kind of thing, and which I thought was cool.
Well, that's what music does. It's the reason for music.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just your brain latches or clues in.
Yeah, I get that way with a lot of Irish folk songs. Just my grandmother and my mother both, even though they were different versions of it, which was kind of weird. But yeah, yeah, my grandmother was more in the classical Irish folk, and my mother was more in the modern Irish folk. Yeah, it's kind of weird though. But yeah, that draws me back to them. Memories of them. We were the same. We always had music around, either in the house or out playing, if around the cars or whatever. It's funny. My eldest uncle came over, and we were making chili, and I had classic rock on. I forget who it was, and he was saying I had to tell Pat, his brother, the next youngest brother, and there's only like a year and a half between them. He said I had to tell him you were listening to his music, and I'm like, Joe, you're basically the same age. You're like 2 years apart at the most. But Joe listens more to like doo wop and oldies and Motown and stuff like that. And we were actually talking about the Sirius XM, I think it was. Or no, it was the terrestrial station here in Philly, Oldies 98. I was like, I put it on the other day and I was like, there's no more oldies left. It's all stuff from like the 80s and 70s. It's not like the 60s and 50s, 60s and early 70s like it used to be. He's like, yeah, it's been like that for like 10 years. And I'm like, Guns N' Roses oldies now? I mean, I heard Welcome to the Jungle. They consider that an oldie now? Yeah. But it's just weird how even in the same generation, people look at music a little differently. Yeah.
So it's Scott's birthday tomorrow. Do you think he's out celebrating right now, the big cheater?
It could be. I don't know. It depends on Michelle's schedule, I guess, or what. He might have people in. I don't know. I didn't check in with Scott today. I didn't know it was my job. He's
Yeah,
a busy man. He's got shit going on.
he ain't busy. Oh, not to bring everybody down,
Okay.
but Serge Leger or Laget, I don't know how to pronounce him. The guy who designed games with Bruno Faiduti, he passed away.
Oh, did
He
he?
yeah, I mean, like he was part of the designer for like Mystery of the Abbey, which is a really good game.
Yeah, I still have that one.
Um, it just sucks. He was, I mean,
Yeah.
from all intents and purposes, everything I've read about him is that he was a really good dude, and yeah, I mean that just stinks.
Was he old?
And
That it couldn't have been that much. Right?
no, they said he had a sickness. He
Oh,
was
okay.
sick, and most recently, he actually designed the game Night of Valor or Night of Valor. Uh, and I played that one actually. I played that at BGG Con and I enjoyed it. But came out in 2020. So yeah, I mean, it just sucks. Like I said, never met the man. However,
Yeah,
I played a lot of his games. I played Ad Astra. I played Mystery of the Abbey. I played that Night of Valor. I played Shadows over Camelot. I played Mare Nostrum. Uh,
I didn't realize
yeah,
they did the first Martin National.
and like yeah, I mean like I really enjoyed. Let's see, Cargo Noir. I never played that, but I heard good things.
Cargo. I think
Yeah,
I
it was
have
a
played
Days
that
of
one.
Wonder game.
Yeah, I think I did play that one.
Mystery Express. I didn't really like
I
that one.
didn't play that one.
I don't want to speak ill of the man, but I did not enjoy Mystery Express. Let's see here. Senji was a very good game that
Yeah.
nobody cared about back in 2008. I really enjoyed that game. Great deal.
Didn't I just have a
I
reprint not that long ago?
don't think so. I really like Senji.
Yeah.
Senji was cool because it was a uh you were like you were in charge of a Japanese clan in medieval Japan,
Mhm.
and there were like these there was a really fun diplomatic phase in the game
Yeah.
that allowed you to uh you could acquire hostages from other people, and they like if you had like basically family members that like if people wouldn't be willing to do what you asked, um you could execute them or whatever, and so then they lose those, they'd be losing points, so they, so it was like one of those things where they had to decide between the two things. It was a lot of fun. It was uneven. I'll fully admit that I think the game was a little uneven, and but
I don't know.
um
Couldn't really judge it.
yeah.
I only played it
uh,
once, probably.
yeah. Somebody wants me to get wound up with OGL 1.2. I don't really know what to say about 1.2. There's just too much stuff in there. You know what? I'll say this one thing. Shut up. No, so
Who
here's
was
the
it?
one thing.
Kabuki, you son of a bitch.
So here's my one thing that about that I can argue both sides of the coin of, and I don't know how to say which is better either way. So with OGL 1.2, one of the things that they want to have in there is the fact that they have a morality clause, which is basically if they think you're producing something that is immoral or hate speech or whatever, they can revoke your OGL license for that product and you're not allowed to make it. That is part of it, and that is a stickler point for tons of people. So I get it when basically if you agree to print something and make the thing from their thing. And again, this is not set in stone. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and they haven't said this is what the new OGL is going to be. I mean, it's like the weird thing is this isn't something you can vote for. They just get to decide what it is because it's their game, right? I mean, the argument is, of course, you saying that like somebody if they actually say that OGL 1.0A is gone, then if they say that, you've got to almost hope one of the like Paizo or somebody that's big enough to actually fight them will actually step up and take them to court. And but nobody wants to spend all that money. I don't know, who knows. But the morality clause in there is that there was the problem with that is that one, people are like, oh well, you could decide what it is. Well, yeah, well, I mean, they get to decide, right? I mean, here's the crazy thing is that they could just say, you know what, we're just going to take all the rules, and if you want to make D&D games, you can't anymore. Sorry, see you later.
Yeah,
you can't make anything for 5e anymore. So they get to make that rule. The thing that drives me crazy about it is that and I don't know this for sure, I'm not a lawyer, all that preamble aside, in the realm of things that in the past when companies have had morality clauses inside their contracts, like saying if you want to produce something for this, here's the morality clause, and we can, if we decide your thing, there is precedent for the fact that it is a good faith contract, meaning that the presumption is that a company that has a morality clause and has control over product that is being made for their whatever is that they will use that contract in good faith, meaning that they will not be capricious when it comes to deciding what is both acceptable and not acceptable. And if you are a company that like makes something and for whatever reason that company decides the morality of that is not, like, let's say somebody came up with a thing that said, this is my WotC's a big pile of dog shit version of D&D, and and then they're like, oh well, and there was no like gratuitous hate speech or misogyny or racism or anything like that would obviously is supposedly what this is supposed to be. Like, they technically, you could take them to court saying like this is like you are using your contract in bad faith, that you basically, you convinced me to sign this and now you are actually doing this in bad faith, and then if they were found to actually be doing that, then they would be liable for court costs and all those other things in those situations. So it is a difficult shadow to publish under. I agree that it is a tough thing to like say, like with this shadow of this morality clause over you, like, oh my gosh, I better make sure I don't publish anything that somebody's going to try to take away from me. But it's just precedent has shown that in the past for these types of situations, you need, like, the company can't just be willy-nilly with their decisions of what isn't authorized and what is. I mean, a lot of people use the Comics Code Authority as a as they point to that as like, oh, remember when they did the Comics Code Authority and how horrible that was, and how they tried to control the comics. Well, I remember comics being published that were not, the Comics Code Authority was gone now, but I remember there were comics that were not approved by the Comics Code Authority, and they published them. I mean, they still going out there. I don't know. What do I know? Hey, there he is.
Hey,
Scott.
He gets
How's it
older.
going?
That's
He
right.
gets
He's
older
traveling.
tomorrow.
I forgot.
I'm at the BGG building with Lincoln and Nikki. They came in and surprised me for my birthday.
Was it your birthday tomorrow, or is it today?
It is tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought.
So we're playing pinball.
Oh, let me see the pinball machine. Can you show me the pinball machine?
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Should I show my pinball machines?
Well, what's
Plural?
going to happen? Well, yeah, what's going to happen if you show a pinball machine? It isn't. There's nothing.
Well, there's
illegal in
there's
that.
a few more than one machine.
Oh boy.
I don't care. What I mean, is it like you got dancing girls or something? I mean,
Hold on a second. Let me.
Let me put the Coke away.
How come I can't see you guys? I'm only seeing one of you at a time. Is there a way for me to see more than one? I'm on my phone, obviously. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can reverse.
Trying to remember if you could.
By the way, this is the BGG break room. Have you guys ever seen it? Have you been here?
No.
I've never been there.
This is
I'm not
this is
allowed.
the, okay, well, I'll give you a quick tour. How about a tour?
Oh, cool. A tour.
We got candy
Oh.
from Halloween or something. I don't know where it came from. And then we've got, our little TV. This is our lots of food.
Yeah. Your
Snacks.
yeah.
Oh, there's soda. We got soda. No diet though, unfortunately. Okay.
What's that? Is that a can of Yoo-hoo that was in there?
No. LaCroix.
Oh, okay. I was like, that looked like
Look,
a can
yeah,
of Yoo-hoo.
it's got the Yoo-hoo colors. Okay, so this is our break room or kitchen. It's a pretty nice kitchen.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let me show you the pinballs after. But this is the BGG library room. One of
Oh,
the
here,
rooms.
hold on. I'm
hold
gonna highlight you. Hold on a second here.
Okay, well,
Yeah, hold on.
hold on. The lights.
There we go.
Where'd the lights go? I'm in the dark, by the way.
We can see that, Scott.
Yeah, so yeah, we actually can see what you see. So you telling us
Yeah, okay,
that you're
you
in the
can
dark.
Well, you see, I'm in the dark now. I'll turn a light on.
Oh, Kabuki Kid, Yoo-hoo is more yellow. Thanks. Thank you for that. Just pushing my glasses up. Yeah, actually, can of Yoo-hoo
There was
would be more yellow.
So we got our, ultimate tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Posters. We got some posters. We got this, the BG, this is the library currently.
That's the whole library?
Working on stuff. This is the entirety of it, but I will, we bring this to BGG Con. It's 50 shelves.
I'm used to the warehouse it was in.
Well, I can go into the warehouse if you want.
I remember the
there's
days of
more
the
in the
airplane
warehouse?
hanger. Remember the
What's that?
airplane hanger?
That's what I meant, the airplane hangar. That's
Oh
what
yeah, there was an airplane hangar, but this is now a building.
It just seems less in the building.
Much nicer.
Yeah. Joe.
Less. I mean,
It
This is like-
seems, I guess, because it's organized.
This is almost 8,000 games.
Yeah, I guess because it's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
organized.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
more
seems
organized.
Like it
It's like-
less.
Yeah, it's 50 shelves.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear the pinball?
Not yet.
Nah.
Oh, there's a little flash of it. I'll go there after. Let me take the rest of the building.
How often do you come to the building, Scott? Often?
Once a couple weeks.
There's your day out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Employees only.
Employees only.
Is it in Braille? I had a weird thing at work with sides like that.
Who is dark?
Yes. Wrong switch.
Okay.
So this is the store warehouse?
This is where we store stuff.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Holy
stuff.
cow.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've toured this place before, done a video? This
you
is
did a
like
quick
our
walkthrough,
storage.
I
These are
think, yeah.
games in storage. These are these are games we sell for charities or like special. Hey,
Right.
there's a John company.
It's a good game.
Good game, y'all.
Look at that. There's tens of dollars on those shelves.
Tens of dollars.
We got a little bit of cardboard.
A little bit.
A
Yeah.
little bit of cardboards.
Yeah.
We should probably do fulfillment, right?
I have told you if you could
No. I am
if
not
you
going to
could-
do fulfillment.
if you could figure out a way to do it, I mean, there's money in piles out on the street that people
Piles
just
of money
can't
ready to be grabbed.
You're ready to grab, but people just can't seem to figure out how to get it. Oh wow, an old vault of holding from the ship
Yeah, you
naked
remember these,
days.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ship naked days.
Shit naked. Okay. There's one of those things.
That's one of those things.
What are those things? Pallet lifter.
Yeah.
We don't have a forklift.
You could call it that.
This is some, boxes of stuff. Buy some stuff, please. We need to sell some stuff.
Yeah.
We need to sell more stuff.
Got a lot of stuff. Are they bits? Oh, the
These are
card
the
holders.
trays.
Yeah. The new ones?
Trays.
Yeah.
The trays. Yeah, I think these are the new ones. We did a big order recently, so we got a restock of everything. These are the
Yeah.
ones.
I got some
And
of the
every
old
color.
ones. Yeah.
There's a pink one. These are the tray, the bowls.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, those are nice.
Bowls.
A lot of bowls.
Poker chips. Nothing's open, I think.
Some of the
Nothing's
best poker
loose.
chips you can buy.
Yeah, well, those are all in boxes.
Prices you have for those are just way better than anywhere else you can get.
Cubes.
Cubes. Yeah.
Oh, good cubes.
Hey, more cardboard. Oh, these are the toppers.
Oh, okay.
Berkey's toppers.
Yeah.
And there's another vault.
Another vault. What's
But
in
these
the
are the
vault?
toppers, and they're just on pallets now. It's gonna be easy to move them.
Yeah.
A lot of breath.
Because you're
How
looking at
many,
your tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars. How big is the building, Scott?
20,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Like 8,000 of office and 12,000 of
Store or cargo, whatever you want.
Uh,
Throw 'em
Smoky
through
Valley. We still got Thrones of Allegoria. These are those
Church.
bags.
Out of bags. Yeah.
I forget what game that is. One of the newer ones. These are bags. More bags. We sell a lot of bags.
Do you?
Yeah, we do.
What would you say is your the thing that sells the most? Would it be the bits or the
The bits, Quacks bits,
Yeah.
Wingspan bits. We hope you like Likey. Vampire Queen imports. These are
Yeah.
imports.
I
Okay,
played a couple of them.
this is a really great game, by the way. If you don't have it, very good. Oh, this is our book. This is Ambi's board game day book for kids. I had not seen this actually.
Yeah.
This is cute. This is super cute. I don't know if these are for sale yet. They might be for sale tomorrow. Is everybody having fun?
Oh yeah.
I'm enjoying the back the look.
Oh, the behind the scenes.
The behind
So
the
our prince, right? Princess. Prince.
Yeah.
These are the prince. Oh, geez.
Don't break it, Scott.
Yeah. So there's like this custom storage for the prince. They can just come grab whatever they need. We actually run out of space for these. So this is where the magic happens. This is the nerve center where all the packing happens.
Oh, I thought you left the kitchen already.
Where's the light?
Don't
Light
even
switch
know
out
your
here.
own building.
I don't really. I don't think there's anything secret in here,
It's
but
gotta be setting off alarms.
this is our. So this is our pick boxes for every promo we sell.
Okay. It's a lot
Like
of
so
promos.
if you buy an orange bag.
How many guys or people do you usually have in there picking
We have
stuff?
four ladies that
Ladies.
come in 2 to 3 times a week. This is where our shirts are.
Is that wall up the code, Scott? Oh, fuck away.
Hoodies, shirts. This is one of the new shirts. This is one of these shirts you might have seen. These sport
Yeah.
name. So shirt picks, hoodies, eat, sleep, game, repeat. Hoodie. More boxes. There's always boxes.
Yeah.
You have to have the boxes all ready to go. So this is basically, this all used to be at Jeff's hangar.
Right.
Pico.
Do they
So-
like get better in this building or the hangar?
Yeah, like by a million.
I'm sure this is air conditioned and all that,
Air conditioned, heated,
right? Yeah.
all the things.
Was that last will?
Last will?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Glenmore.
Oh, Glenmore. Yeah, we saw Glenmore.
That looked like the last will box at first.
In front of elevators. Remember this game, Lance?
Yeah, I still have mine. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. We keep selling out of this, so we keep reordering it. So people buy it. That one.
And that is like it is one of the best dexterity games ever, and it's so accurately like
it's
like
it's a good
it
tennis.
really is tennis. Strangely, it's hard to explain, but it really does feel like it.
For sure.
And these transform.
Fans.
Yeah, I know them well.
That's from the old place. Show you the bathroom. Pretty nice bathroom.
All right. Does it have a turlet?
Does it have a what?
A turlet? Yep, there's a turlet. It's got a
Turlet. Oh yeah, turlet. It's so this is. It also has a hookup for washer.
Washer
dryer.
dryer.
But
Oh,
there's
yeah,
like
it looks like you have a
like
shower too.
Yeah.
You could basically stay here if you wanted.
Done. When can I come out there?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
nice
look
shower.
at- that is a nice shower.
Like a double jetter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. They did a really good job of building this building out for
What was it before you guys?
doors, custom doors.
Doors.
So every door in this building, which except for this one,
That's
It's
a nice
custom.
door. I agree.
No,
That's
it's
a
not.
nice door.
this is the
Yeah.
only one that's not. So see this door?
Yeah.
That's a nice door. These doors are
Oh,
high
yeah.
quality.
Did you get a good deal? I never asked you. Did you get? You must have gotten a pretty good deal in the building, huh?
I feel like I did, especially now, post pandemic.
Yeah.
Post pandemic is just, it's ridiculous. Like it was perfectly timed. Lucky.
Yeah.
So you see these doors.
Yeah.
This is the entrance. That's the lobby, breezeway.
Okay.
I'm not going to open that door. That's the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is Jeff's office.
Okay.
This is just an office. Well, it's got a lot of junk in it right now, but it's basically 2 desks for anybody that's like not, it's temporary desks.
Right.
This is the workout room.
Nice.
We're fixing the bike.
Sure.
Yeah. A lot of dust on those things.
It's broken
Yeah.
right now. It's broken.
Sure. Notice the ladder, the boxes. Yeah.
It's broken. Wait, there's Lincoln. You want to say hi?
My mom.
Oh.
Hey, Lincoln.
He's talking to his mom.
So these are all the shirts from all the conventions.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
Is that the first? Which is the first one?
That's the
Scott?
first one, 2005. November 3rd through the 6th, 2005. Can you hear that music?
Nah.
This might get you
No.
flagged, by the way. It's copyrighted music, by the way, but. Okay. Oh, wait, here's Ben's room.
What was the other one? Just a general bathroom?
That was over in the other building, or the
Other
warehouse. This
section,
is more of the
yeah.
front of the building.
Okay.
This is basically the front side of the building, I would call it.
Okay.
Hello. Toilet.
Another turlet.
Good thing there's no poops in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Last time I came in here, there was a poop.
Man.
Okay, here's the pinball machine room. Be prepared. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Mm,
So we got one of these.
Oh, an old NBA Jam. Okay, cool.
Well, it's a new one.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay, cool. Avengers. Oh my gosh! When you said you went kind of crazy on
Nikki.
the pinball machines, you weren't lying,
I-
were you?
you got Nikki P? She's busy, Scott. Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
Mhm. She's going to cut you.
Deadpool. Leave her alone. Just show us the other ones, Scott. Godzilla.
Godzilla, the monsters,
Monsters.
Star Trek.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. That's a good machine.
Oh, the Hobbit.
There it is. Medieval Madness. That one's great. Oh, wow. Black Knight. And then what do we got over here? Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Metallica. The Beatles. James Bond. That's Thunderbolt. Oh, that's cool.
Tron.
And Tron, yeah. Wow, he was in line when he said he kind of went all in. On the pinball.
I've gone crazy. I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
This is our streaming room.
You're Frosty.
Frosthaven. What's that? I haven't heard of it.
So there's like a window. You can watch the pinball machines from in here.
Nice. And pinball machine people can watch the streamers from out there.
Yep, exactly. It's like Willy Wonka's factory.
Yeah. So how many pinball machines have you bought in like the last 6 months?
15.
This is the last 6 months, Scott.
Last 6 months, Lincoln?
Just-
Just last 6 months?
What?
Just
15
chilling
pinball
with the magazine.
I think 15.
15 in less than a year. A
Yeah.
year.
Look at
Let's
that.
call it a year.
Oh, what's that?
What's that on the? Is that Jeff?
Yeah.
It is.
it's
He's
Jeff.
reading. Lincoln's reading the article, but about Jeff.
I want to read about Jeff's con.
PG Con.
Jeff?
a little light reading.
Yeah.
There you go.
Talk to my mom too.
Oh, talking to your mom. Okay. Hey, Mom.
No worries.
Okay, I'll move over here. My arms
No, I mean,
hurting.
So
Your arms
you,
are-
that's crazy. So do you have a maintenance?
In a ridiculously big way. It's stupid.
So Robert, Purdon, and he asked the question I was going to ask you. You must have a pinball service person on call
No.
when those break.
It's me. I'm learning how to do it.
Okay.
Are you?
Fix one. I've already fixed one of the machines.
What's parts like,
Fixed
Scott?
one of the parts already popped off, and I had to fix it.
What about well, you're gonna have to degauss your balls when they get magnetized. You know that. don't you?
Yes.
That is a problem. Magnetized balls are a problem.
Yes.
That's a thing that you have to get that does that for you. That'll demagnetize them.
So,
Well, I mean,
well,
yeah.
I'm cutting my pinball time to see you guys. Although I don't see you, I only see myself right now. I don't know why I'm.
Well,
Oh,
I
there
don't
we
know.
go.
Well, that's because I
Lance got you
highlighted
on the.
I'm
yeah.
seeing you guys now.
There we go.
I see you guys.
Yeah, no. So I mean, you don't have an Adams Family game though. The greatest.
Yeah,
pinball machine
I've
of all
thought
time.
about it, and I don't know where to get one. I kind of want to get one if I get one, it's local, and I want to try it first because they're kind of
Yeah.
old. The older machines, I'm not excited about the older ones as much. Those are most all new.
Yeah.
Why is it part wise or just reliability?
I think my personal
Taste.
addiction of pinball now is the modern machines. Like, do you guys know much about it? Like pinball?
Not a whole lot. I'm sure.
I-
It's
a
like
fair amount,
ridiculously.
but probably-
There's all
probably
kinds
less
of
than you.
interesting. It's really interesting. I feel like it's a board game in disguise. They are basically board games in disguise. The amount of rules, all the little modes, and the skill of it is just super fun.
Hmm.
So I've exposed my collection to the world. It is
Oh,
pretty
God. Now we just gotta
And-
find you.
I started with a couple and then I made a wish list. There's a website called pinside.com, which is basically like the BGG for pinball. And it's very good. It's a very good website. I think one person made it. It's got a thriving community. And I've made a bunch of connections through there. Met a guy through it's probably going to be a lifelong friend now.
That's cool.
I bought a bunch of his machines all at once. We drove up and picked them up to Tulsa. During
Oklahoma?
the storm. It was a storm. Yeah, Oklahoma.
Oh, I remember
And,
talking about that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a really nice guy, and I'm probably there's a pinball convention here basically in Dallas, not Dallas area. It's called Allen, city north of here, but in March. So I'm probably gonna go to that. But,
That's cool.
yeah, it's a really cool hobby that I am excited to be part of now.
That's cool.
But I made this wish list, and then somehow each day, well, not each day, but each week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, one of the machines would pop up on the pin side, and I'd be like, should I pull the trigger? I didn't intend to buy 15 pinball machines in less than a year, but it's something happened. So anyway,
Sure, you didn't
You lost
10,000
your
of
mind.
board games either.
I've lost my mind. Michelle is okay with it mostly.
So far.
So you start sleeping at the office to be closer to the pinball machines.
It's not that. It's not that bad. I mean, I really like coming. I like not having them like handily available.
Yeah.
Readily available because
You do it
I
all
feel
the
like
time.
you get bored with it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of almost ready to go. We've been here for a few hours, hanging out. But I went to a doctor appointment today, and then we came here after dinner.
Fun
So-
day.
Yes, I got my. I guess I'm going to show since I'm showing to you guys everything. I got to. I was mapped today,
Okay.
body, and I have to show you my outfit for the body mapping.
Okay.
Are you gonna wear like the
It's a wool thong.
I was gonna say like the green bodysuit that Charlie Kelly wears and
This is what I wore.
Oh, it is basically a thong.
I can't really hold it up with my hands, but you can
Yeah.
see. You can use your imagination.
So
still
you had to
having-
wear that for what?
Body mapping.
scan. Yeah.
Body mapping.
Why are you getting body
Skin
mapping
cancer.
done?
Skin cancer.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. I'm trying to avoid skin cancer, or I
Could
should
we,
more.
Well, is it can you put that on for us right now? And
Oh,
model
God,
it for us?
I will never
No.
wear this.
Walk on the catwalk, Scott.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it away. I'm gonna show Michelle. I told her I was gonna show it
Oh,
to her.
Michelle didn't see him.
No, she did not see me. She dropped me off. 'Cause she
Oh,
had to go,
okay.
she actually had to go to a meeting.
Okay.
So she dropped me off at the hospital. And I went up there and they're like, oh God, what was the term she said? She goes, take off your clothes. I go, okay, fine. You can leave your underwear on. You can leave your underwear on, she said. And I said, okay, I got boxers. Is that okay? She's, well, can you pull them up? Like, can you pull them tight? I'm like, I can. I mean, she as soon as she saw me with the boxer, she's like, wear this. Put this on. It's basically like a little black bikini.
Yeah.
Well, don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I became very
Self-conscious.
nah, whatever. They do it every day, all day.
Yeah.
That's what they
Yeah.
so I didn't care that much.
Let the good times roll.
Now there was a mirror in there, and I got to see myself, which kind of sucked.
Yeah,
It's
that's the one thing.
shocking.
If you ever have to go in and get a procedure done, it's just a job to them. They're not.
It's just a
checking
job
in.
to them, and I'm sure they're not remembering me.
Yeah.
Going, oh my God. Now it's interesting because they did make mention of my scar. I've got 2 scars now with
Right.
my surgeries. So, and she goes, well, you just tell everybody it's a shark bite. Okay, that's better. That's a more fun story
Yeah.
That's a way more fun story.
than skin cancer removal.
It is what it is.
Anyway, all right.
And then you have to get like a shark tooth, and where it is, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and then so you can like
A bracelet or a necklace.
yeah, it's like you just have it as like a
Shark tooth. Yeah,
necklace.
shark tooth. That's my souvenir of the shark tooth.
Yeah, no, I have a shark tooth, and then you
You want
just
to
say,
tell you the story?
yeah, no, but it's just one of those things that it's like, I tried to, one of us walked away, and then you can hold up the tooth, and
Yeah.
say like, you put him down,
That'd be a good story.
be worth it. Yeah, so you must be, you're hanging out with
Yeah,
hang
Lincoln
out
and
with
Nikki
your
came into
crew.
town to we'll get together for my birthday.
That's cool.
Just
You got
tomorrow.
plans?
We got pinball. We're playing pinball,
That's it. Pinball.
and we're
That's
probably
it?
gonna
That's all you're gonna do?
Eat
Eat
food.
food. You got a special meal planned or no?
I'm not actually, because I did one for my anniversary and I basically made myself sick. So I think I told them
Oh.
I go, are you guys okay with not going to a really? Because we like I like to go to a steak restaurant.
Right.
There's one we go to a lot called Capitol Grill and Bob's. Bob's Steak and Shop is really the one.
I've been to Bob's. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob's is awesome. And
just go to Chewy's.
we might go to Chewy's. That's probably a better.
My
choice.
daughter,
I felt so sick after our anniversary. I was just like, I don't want to eat. Because I hadn't eaten
was it from overeating
I
or
haven't
just the
a
diet?
big
type?
meal
Yeah.
in months, if not a year.
Yeah.
So
my daughter mentioned just like out of the blue yesterday. She was like, "What was that place we went to at BGG Con?"
oh, she remembered it.
Because we went twice. We went.
Yeah,
There
we
twice.
went the first night, right?
Yeah, we went, and then we went back like 2 or 3 nights later. And
Oh,
I
you
was
did?
like,
Okay.
and I was like, "Oh, Chewy's." She's like, "Yeah, I miss Chewy's." So she just said that like she was like
Chewy's is a really good place.
it is that
It's really
steak
good, really.
burrito is amazing.
It's the bomb. I won't tell you the calorie
I
count.
would agree. Well, no, I'm sure it's ridiculous.
You
But
can
I mean,
splurge
but
once
they,
in a while,
but
so.
but no,
I know.
usually when I've had a steak burrito before, I mean, it's like, oh, it's just a steak burrito, but like they do something. They marinate that steak.
Oh
in
yeah, it's all
something.
it's all cooked well. It's flavored, seasoned. And the Hatch green chili sauce, it's Hatch green chili is what they use. And
that green chili sauce is so
that
good.
spice is just chef's kiss.
Oh, and the fresh made chips are like a lot of places do
The
fresh
very
made-
thin, crispy chips, and the salsa
Oh.
fresh salsa.
Oh, that fresh salsa and that guac they make is so good.
We're gonna go to Chewy's now, Lance. Thanks.
Yeah, that weird cheese ranch thing or whatever that they have. for the dip.
That would be the jalapeno ranch.
Yes.
Gross.
And I'm usually not a ranch guy, but I
Me neither.
probably-
But
I
I'll eat
probably
the
had-
shit out of that stuff.
Yeah, I probably had a bowl of that to myself. I just.
Oh
it
my
was-
god! Don't even. You're killing me, man.
Yeah, Chewy's is. I mean, that'll be. It used to be when
cut
I
it in
went to
half,
BGG.
Scott, and
It
save
used
some
to
for
be when I
later.
went to
I know, I know.
BGG Con. It used to be when I would go to BGG Con, I would be like, I got to make sure I go to hard 8. Now it's like, I got to make sure I go to Chewy's.
Chewy's.
Mm,
It's a cool
Chewy's is
place
great.
too.
It's fun.
And they'll give you a free tortilla. You walk over to that nice lady.
You just ask for it. Yeah, they'll give you free tortillas all night.
Yeah, and it's just like, they're super nice. They're just making fresh tortillas by scratch.
Yep, scratch tortillas.
You just walk over
Those
there.
are the best. Freshly.
Oh,
freshly-
and they're warm, and you're like, oh, nom, 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 nom. Thank you for the fresh bread. Hmm.
You want to say
yes,
hi to Nikki? You want to say hi to anybody? No, you're just. She says no.
Oh, that's fine. She doesn't
she's
have to.
mad. You interrupted her game.
You
Scott.
interrupted. You screwed up her game of pinball. I've been
What the
mad
hell
at
did
you
I
too.
Come say hi to the guys. You've never really been on the show, right?
Oh, she has. I mean, like, just hey.
Oh, maybe
hi.
you've been on the show. You want to share?
Hey, Nikki.
Hey,
Hi.
Nikki.
How's your 2 jobs go there with the publishers?
Ah.
Could be better.
Could be
Eh,
better.
Publishers suck. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're all great.
No, everybody's trying to figure out how to survive.
How to survive
so
in the modern day.
Yeah.
you know, food chain.
Magnate.
What were
What's
you
your favorite
talking
machine
about?
so far, Nikki? What's your favorite pinball machine?
I
I mean, that we only been here for
always
a couple hours. Well,
Well,
just
I always like Lord of the Rings.
You like Lord of the
and, the Madness,
Medieval Madness.
Medieval Madness
Those are
is a
good ones.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have to like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mhm.
So, yeah. I mean, there are definitely games I don't like, but I like most games.
Gotcha.
I won't play the ones that I don't like.
Right.
All right.
It's easy not to play pinball. I mean, when you're paying $1. Well, we pretty much go to free play. Like their Cidercade is all free play.
Yeah. I've
Um,
never tried any of their cider though.
Let me not try
Did
the
you
cider.
ever get?
I have
cider?
tried it. It's
I
okay.
never-
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, Cidercade is a local brewery that has unlimited.
Cider?
They have like they have I don't say every. They have a lot of retro video games and
Yeah.
at least 27 pinball machines.
I
Really?
mean,
Yeah, if you go to pinballmap.com, you can see the list. I think it's 27.
Look at you. You're like spouting off all these websites. Oh, if you go to pinballmap.com.
Pinballmap.com.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've been deep diving, man. Pinside. I'm jealous of Pinside's. There are some things in Pinside that they do technically that I'm like, we should do that on beach.
uh,
Totally do.
organization stuff.
Oh, all kinds of stuff they have. They have some really great features.
I mean, we have the Munsters.
Yeah, they have
so
Munsters. Lincoln and Nicky have
I
Munsters.
get a lot of plays into that.
So they play
That
that a
one's
lot.
a really fun one.
My hand is getting tired.
Well,
It's big time.
Well, you don't have to entertain us, man. You got.
No, I just
stuff
wanted to say
going.
hi and show
I guess-
you the building and
Me and Barry will have to keep everybody entertained, I guess, and you can just go off and do
That's-
whatever it is that you do.
just 2 of you tonight?
what's going on with it. Where
Well,
is everybody?
usually
little
Scott's
early.
here. It's a little early. 11 o'clock is when other people start
Matt will
showing
be
up.
showing up
Maybe
soon,
I
and,
don't know.
Evan,
Who knows? Evan will maybe he'll show up. I don't know. Maybe it'll be an hour and a half long Alaboom because Scott couldn't be bothered to show up.
Yeah. Mhm.
I got stuff to talk about too. I mean, there's games to be played that we played. So
And what about Serge Leggett? I mean, passed away. You know,
Yeah.
design-
that's a sad. I
sucks.
mean, I feel like he was on the upswing with that. I mean, he's
Yeah.
always been a good designer, but I think Nidavellir is great.
It's really
It's one of the
good.
best games ever made for sure on that in that kind of genre.
Yeah.
Bidding game and like
I was
it's-
just saying Nidavellir. I always said Nidavellir, but I mean I played that with you. I think at BGG Con.
Did you play it?
That's
That's
where
very
I played
possible.
it. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
was like,
it's
it
so
was-
good.
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
you know, he was
Yeah,
just nobody
that's a
knew
young-
and nobody knew he was sick. I guess he'd been sick and
It kept
Yeah.
it secret or it was fast.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him.
yeah, which sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
But what do you?
I didn't know him though.
Oh,
I never met him.
I don't remember him either. I mean, I met, and which maybe, I mean, I remember because like I always talked about like there were so many games by Bruno Faiduti that I loved. I was like,
Yeah.
he was my Euro designer that I wanted to meet. And when I finally did meet him, it was like, I mean, I'm sure he's a wonderful human being, and he accepted my friend request on Facebook and what have you. But he, I don't know. It was one of those things where it was underwhelming. It was like, it's like you never meet your heroes. You never
Yeah,
meet
yeah,
your
never-
heroes.
never-
Yeah,
Yeah, never.
waiting for you to finish your
It's probably
sentence.
they'll probably let you down.
You don't know names, obviously, Nikki. You'll be waiting a while.
I guess I've heard.
Nick, I got a question for you. Other than and Michelle, what is your favorite thing in Dallas?
Dallas, the food,
Food?
all of
Okay.
the taco places
Oh, yeah, so
are
many tacos.
just so good.
Really? Even come from LA? Or is it different type?
It's different.
Here, it's just they're different than LA kind of
Okay.
tacos are more what you would expect kind of. I mean, they're really good, but these Dallas does some funky like fusion
Velvet taco. Yeah.
things
Did I take you
that
guys
are
to
just
Velvet Taco?
really
I
I
did.
never-
You took me to Velvet
I didn't
Taco
take the
once
Matt.
as well.
I didn't take you, Matt. Velvet Taco? We got to go to Velvet Taco this
There's
year.
like Velvet Taco has this like Indian taco that is really good.
Yeah, it's
That's, like,
nicely
my favorite.
spiced.
What's the name of that one?
I think it's just a tikka
Tikka
chicken tikka
tikka
masala taco.
Tikka masala.
Something like that. It's a very simple
It's
name.
super good.
And they
then
have, like,
there's,
some-
a hamburger taco
There's a
and
cheeseburger taco with Kobe beef burger
yeah,
and the one I liked a lot, the Korean barbecue.
what
Korean
was
pig.
it?
Cuban pig.
Cuban pig.
There's
a
Cuban pig
one.
and then there's a Korean one too.
Yeah.
There's a Korean style barbecue and a Cuban barbecue.
Yeah.
And there's a brisket one that has cheese grilled on the outside of the tortilla. I can't even say it. Tortilla. Sorry, I was gonna say tortilla.
Well, you know.
And then
You're right.
oh man, I mean I like them. And then there's a buffalo chicken one, which I always get,
Yeah.
but I've sort of stopped getting that one. Just to save a few calories.
Oh,
What else? Well, that's just one of the that's just one taco place.
right.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. There's a drink in Dallas called the Mambo Taxi
Yeah.
that
What is-
Mi Cocina sells. Mi
Yeah.
Cocina, is that you say that?
Mi Cocina.
Is it not Cocina? It's Cocina.
Cocina.
Mi Cocina, and then it's a chain in Dallas. It's very good. And they have the Mambo Taxi. 2 is the limit.
Yep.
What is in the mumbo?
Remember the night we had 3?
Yes.
We
I
had 3.
do.
Me and Nikki had 3.
Ooh.
I-
Tell anybody.
Don't
That's a night to remember.
continue that story
I'm
no
done, I'm done.
further.
I'm done. And then that's just some of the food.
It's
I mean, the
amazing
steak
how
places.
Actually.
Me too. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, you do remember that night.
A night of
A
embarrassment.
night of embarrassments. It was fun.
You never said what is in this drink, Scott?
It is a frozen margarita with sangria in it, but the sangria is basically like made with more higher octane alcohol. So it's got a
Yeah.
kick.
I don't know
But
if
it's a
I like
sangria
that.
swirl,
But it's good.
and it's so
not-
good. And
I'm
it's not
big
like
on wine.
like
Yeah, I don't know if I
you're not
like
like
that.
hit with a lot of alcohol flavor. It's
Yeah.
very flavorful.
It's one of those ones that tricks you.
Yeah, it tricks you. That's why they limit to 2. And obviously the steak, the Bob's.
Yeah, the steak here is amazing. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've
We
been to
think that
Bob's.
a great steak for not that much money. You go to LA and pay a lot more for not as good.
Yeah.
So I just don't even bother with steak and then.
And of course, Board Game Geek is here, so that's always a draw.
I said other than Michelle.
Yeah, I might just have to come to BGG Spring and just so I can go to all these restaurants.
Please come to Pin. Please.
I think me and Jen are.
Oh, you coming?
I think that's almost set in stone.
Yeah, that's in May. We're coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up fast.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? Coming? No. Too much. You gotta make some money.
afford to do two cons a year.
And you're going to Gamma, right?
Well, it's Gamma and Gen Con this year.
Yeah.
I was toying with Essen, but I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
Mm.
That's
You
gonna be
ever
interesting.
been?
It's under new ownership now, so I don't know. I'm
Just,
sure.
the hotel is like $2,000 for any con I go to. So
Yeah,
That's-
that's
Yeah.
all each up.
that's
And
a lot
the-
of money.
And that's like
And you're
18
international.
grand in Canadian dollars. So I mean,
Yeah.
Also, flight. You're international to
Yeah.
America, so it's not
Oh, it's
cheap.
like 7 planes to get anywhere.
Bummer.
Why are you pinned, Scott?
Why am I what?
You're pinned. Like you're
Oh,
huge.
I think Lance pinned me
Oh, okay.
or something. Unpin me. Am I the only person
You're still pinned on the feed?
pinned? Like when he sees the group, it sees me.
Only.
I don't know why.
There we go.
Lost
All
Lance. No, we didn't. Scott.
We're gonna get going.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Thank you,
yeah.
guys.
Well, I'll
birthday.
What are
probably
you,
catch you tomorrow.
51,
But
52? 52.
hey, did you like that thing? And it's like, let's see who the quarterback really is. Kirk
Yes, that was
Cousins.
hilarious. That was so hilarious.
How about that last? How about them Cowboys? How
I
about that
don't
last
understand it.
play?
I
How
feel
about
like,
that?
did they not know? I mean, they were going to lose, right? They're going to lose. No trick play is going to win that game for them.
I mean, it's a 1 in
Do
a
a trick
million. But
play.
why do you
Or
throw
throw-
it to the guy who's got a guy right on him?
I don't even understand anything about that play, and I can't comprehend it. I don't even want to know. But I am so glad they're being mocked for it because it is the worst. Like, seriously, do you know those guys combined salary is $250 million? Those two guys?
What?
Dak, yeah, Dak,
Dak
and
and
Dak and
Ezekiel?
Zeke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dak is like 90 and Zeke is like 90 and Dak is like 160. That's 250 by the way, added up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
160 plus 90.
Hold on. Yes. you are
250
correct.
million.
The math checks
250
out.
million. You're gonna put the two guys.
That's like
whatever.
1.2
I'm done.
billion in Canadian dollars.
Man, one of these days, them Canadians are going to. Never mind.
All right, my arm's getting tired.
All right.
See you guys.
See you.
Take care,
Scott.
brother.
Have a good
See
birthday.
you soon. Thanks, guys.
I hope he takes a picture of Michelle's face when he shows him the undies he had to wear.
Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
How is work life, Matthew? It's raining
Good.
again.
Went to play games tonight.
What'd you
Played
play?
Quacks and
Yeah, I think quacks.
Colt
Do you have the geek
Express.
bits?
No, they my buddy Dave just used little coin capsules.
Okay. Yeah, I got the geek bits for quack. I like that. With my
I'm
hands,
gonna-
they help me.
I'm gonna buy the geek bits for Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's pronounced Orleans.
Well, that's how we pronounce it here. We have an area of Ottawa that's called Orleans, and that's what we. But this is actually France, so it's Orleans.
Yeah.
What you mean?
Orleans,
Orleans?
Lance. Tabernacle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
What the hell is that?
So we got paint on the walls now at the office, mostly.
One step at a time. You're getting there.
We move in, so we get in the carpets shampooed on Friday, and we move in on Tuesday.
There you go.
that was a very Canadian way of saying Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I don't usually say it like that.
What you said? Was it zoning or something? You ran into a problem with this? Like
Insurance.
insurance. That's what it was. Yeah.
Insurance.
And how long was it? 2 months or 3 months now that you've been working on this?
Uh,
know it's been a
construction only
while.
started. What's that? Well, it's been a while, but I
Yeah.
mean, the contractors only started last Monday.
Oh, okay.
So
You
this
got a
Monday
wall and
passed
paint,
the
right?
painters,
Yeah.
and then it's just one dude. He's got them all almost all done, and then and yeah, Tuesday. My office mate's been in Costa Rica for the whole time, so I've been doing all the friggin' work. But it's all good.
Neat.
I got home tonight, had to shovel. It snowed like a foot.
Did it?
We're supposed to get like an inch tomorrow. Which,
How cute.
yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting. We haven't gotten blasted in it's been too long since we've been like, we had
It's
our butts
coming.
handed to us, so I'm sure it's coming.
It's coming.
Oh, a couple cool things that have been going on. One, and I said this before, if you are in the Moorhead area,
Yeah.
on February 24th to the 26th, then I'll be having my my gaming first ever gathering of Vikings.
Very cool.
So if
You
you
going
wanna,
that?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
start
me
walking right now, you'll get here eventually.
Yeah.
Come on, make my convention one of the two you attend. I assure you, the hotel will cost you $2,000.
It'll be $99.
When I went to
Continental breakfast.
when I went to Gamma to Columbus to go pitch to Gamma for their rebrand, I stayed in the Motel 6.
Ooh, that's a lovely chain. I've been in a few.
It's so funny. You look at the floor, and honest to God, I bet you what they do is they take the sheets off the bed and they just take this fire hose and clean every night. Because there's no carpet in there whatsoever anywhere. It was just this very wash and go floor.
Hey, sometimes you just need, a bed and four walls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. It was like
Shower.
$59. It was great.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to Vegas long time ago, 2008 or something like that. I went a couple of days early on my own dime because Alcatel was paying for me to go, but I went early because Star Trek: The Experience, which was at the top of the Hilton, was closing forever.
Right.
So I went a couple of days early to do that, and I'm glad I did because it was a lot of fun. But I remember staying at the Harrah's Casino,
Right.
and it was off time during the week because it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, not a weekend, and it was $53 a night. But it was a really nice room for $50.
I do remember when I went to a convention. I'm not going to mention the convention name because I'm not going to hold. I'm not
You're
going
not that type of guy.
I'm not going to name and shame here, but I went to a convention, and like the hotel was, it was like, oh, it was like, how much is the whatever, and it was like $129 a night, and I was kind of like, and that was like the convention rate, and I was just kind of like, well, I mean that's not great, but it's not horrible either, so it's just like, so, and like the like if you have a booth at BGG Con, it's like $149 a night, and that's a nice hotel. It's like, it's not the Ritz or anything, but I mean it definitely is.
Not a Motel 6.
Yeah, it's
or
a
8,
decent,
whatever the hell they are. Yeah.
You should go to Dallas and stay at the Motel 6 and go to the Hard 8.
Oh yeah. So, but I remember I got there, and like I got out of the airport, got a ride in. They pulled into the hotel and I was like, oh my God, is this like the hotel where this, and I knew it was a smaller convention, but I was invited, and I was like, okay. And I got there and I was like, oh my. And I was like, this doesn't look good on the outside. And then I like walked in, and it didn't get any better. It was like one of those things where it's like, well, maybe once you get in, it's like, maybe it's just kind of like just looks a little rough. But yeah, walked in and like looked around, and I was like, oh my heavens. And I was like, well, maybe the rooms will be nice. And I remember I got to my room, and I was just like, I remember I texted my wife, and I was even saying, I was like, before I left, I was like, I just got a bad feeling, like I shouldn't have agreed to go to this convention or whatever. And then I was just like, and I got there and I texted my wife. And I mean, like the heater / air conditioning unit that was attached to the wall was like rusting, and it was just kind of like, and like there was patches of carpet that were just missing on the floor. And I was just, and like, it was just like, I was looking at everything, and it was just like, there was like, just like obvious like stains on the wall that like, they just hadn't cleaned, or if they tried to clean but it didn't come off, and like peeling wallpaper, and I was just like, this has got to be a joke. And I remember, and it was just like, and I was like, I'm paying $129 a night for this. And I remember it, I was just like, I remember I texted my wife, I said, mistakes were made, was all I said. I sent her the pictures and she was just like, don't die. And I was like, yeah. And then I ended up having to switch rooms because my door wouldn't lock to my door. Like it was like literally like after the second day when I came home, like the doorknob was like just completely loose. Like it didn't latch or anything. Like I like yeah.
I guess it's better than being locked in.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, there's always that. Hey, thanks for always looking on the bright side, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was
We used to vacation in the summertime in New Brunswick to go visit Giselle's parents and stuff. And there's a little beach town connected to, well, not too far from Moncton, where her parents are, called oh, if I can't even remember what it's called. Anyways, this little beach town connected to it. We rented a cottage for the week, and we get there and we walk into the cottage. The guy gives us the keys, and apparently he was staying. This old guy who was like not really in great shape, like health wise, lives in this place that we're renting. But for the weeks that he rents it out, he goes next door to this other place. So we walk in, and I wouldn't wish my enemies to live in this place. It was so disgusting. We hightailed it to the Canadian Tire, or the whatever place you could get like cleaning supplies at. We came back after buying a bunch of cleaning supplies, and we just started cleaning. It was just like, how like, it was just such a bad way to start a vacation.
Yeah.
We were not impressed. And he's like, well, I'll buy you a lobster dinner. You know, it's a big thing out there because you can like walk up to this, they catch the lobster right at the sea, right? And then you can walk up to the window at the fishery and just buy the lobster from them.
have you ever this happened to my mother, and thankfully it never happened to me, but like years ago my mother was traveling with my stepdad when he was still alive, and
Well, that would make sense.
yeah, that would make sense. And so they checked into whatever hotel they were staying at. She went into the room and she was doing whatever, and she was just sitting down to like watch some TV or something like that. And then my stepdad like went to go get a newspaper or something or whatever. And and then she like heard the door open, and she was like, oh, you know, it's just like, did you want to grab some dinner later? And then there was like this weird pause, and then like the door closed, and then she was like, hello? And then she got up, and then she watched over to look at the door, and then the door opened again, and there was like somebody else there standing there who had a key to their room, you know. And he said, I'm so sorry. And then he closed the door, and like the hotel had given somebody, they just screwed up and like double booked the room. Like somebody came to check in, and they were like, oh yeah, here you go. Here you can go to room, whatever. She's freaking out, you know, thinking somebody's trying to break into the room. I'm so old that I remember going to hotels and you actually got a key.
Keys, yeah, absolutely.
You actually got a key.
Yeah, I remember that a couple times.
That's how old I am.
You are old. We'll give you that.
How old are you?
Yeah. How old are you? Yeah. Yeah, what do you do?
So I lucked out on, I was looking for some chairs because I'm taking my board game table to use as a boardroom table / gaming table, because we're getting a game there too.
Good.
At the office. And I have folding chairs, $20 folding chairs that I got at like Canadian Tire, or I have like these are our dining room chairs, which aren't coming with me. But I need chairs, and I found some kind of nice ones online, but I was kind of questioning how rickety they were. Ended up finding on Facebook Marketplace 5 Herman Miller, who's like that's the manufacturer of that fancy Aeron chair.
Yeah.
Herman Miller guest chairs on casters, so they're kind of nice with arms, and they retail for like $350 American each.
Yeah.
I found 5 of them, a package of 5 red ones for $175.
You
Not
like
each,
this?
like for the
Yeah, for a sec.
for the lot.
Do you like
So-
the style at all? Or does
They're
it
nice.
not even matter to you at that price?
No, they're nice.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about what shape they're in, but
Yeah, I
that
look at them
price-
first.
At
check
that
the-
price, I'm sure they're fine.
I check the joints around it,
And those chairs are built like brick shit houses. So
yeah. Yeah, I was thinking-
is that a saying in the States?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard of it. I can't say. There's a big difference between where I'm from and where Lance is from, and where East Evans from. It's our country's big. Yeah, it's like the
I'm-
Canadians.
I'm finally starting to be able to pick out accents, regional
Really?
accents. So I was watching this YouTube video today. I'm like, that guy sounds he's like from North Dakota or Minnesota area.
North Dakota.
North Dakota. How do you
Yeah.
pronounce it?
Well, I just say North Dakota, but the O is still long, but it's not as long as for Canadians.
North Dakota.
I do remember like when I was my first year in college, I was entranced by a young woman from Scotland who was in a couple of my classes, and I remember asking her, and of course, like, her accent had me head over heels in love with her, but I do remember and she didn't give 2 bits for me whatsoever. But I do remember I asked her,
And now
how,
she's my wife. No.
and I asked her how like what was an American accent, and she said, "You people are in love with your O's," was what she told me.
Really?
Like that's what an American accent was. It's just like you guys just love to pronounce your O's.
There was this this lady that my buddy had a restaurant that I used to work with at a couple of restaurants, and he opened his own place. And one of the regulars, it was this older couple from Scotland. And to me, she had the wife had a very thick Scottish accent. And then she was recounting this story one night where she went back home to Scotland, to Glasgow, and she's in a pub. And she's telling us that she's like, yeah, I was sitting in the pub and I was chatting with these locals, and they look at me. They said, "Well, where are you from, dear?" She's like, "I'm from here."
Yeah.
Well, I guess her accent got diluted that much over however long she's been in Canada.
Yeah, I have a cousin who were born in Jersey, in the North Philly area. They were over in Jersey. But he joined the army, became a ranger, eventually ended up in Virginia, and he got that Virginia twang. I'm sorry, North Carolina. North Carolina. And he got that North Carolina twang. And it was something similar. We took him out to a bar. He came up one day, and somebody who knew the family asked him, "Where are you from?" It's like he's from over there in Cinnamon. But
it's funny, right? It's
my brother got that Kansas twang when he was stationed out there in Fort Riley for a while too. Yeah.
One show that really did a great job about nailing the accents, or from an uneducated for a person who's uneducated in that particular thing, is Law and Order, like the first Law and Order series.
Right.
All of these different New York and Hispanic accents and like that, they sound so good. like really like immersive. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy on YouTube that he's a linguist, and he's a voice coach, and he rates different people's portrayals of off accent roles,
Right.
like not native to them.
Right.
And it's really interesting. I'll post some links in the thing, because he talks about all these different parts of speech and everything. And it's really cool, kind of what he talks about. I find it cool anyways.
Yeah, I find stuff like that interesting.
Oh, we watched The Menu last night.
Oh, don't tell
I
me anything
still
about it.
haven't
I still
seen
need
it.
to watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so do I.
It's so we finished it and we're like, well, that was interesting. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. It was just it was a little peculiar, I'd say.
But yeah, it's I think that's next on our list.
It's both funny peculiar and funny haha. And if you've ever worked in a restaurant, which I think both of you have,
I
no?
haven't in a restaurant proper. I've worked in a deli.
So worked in customer service, I guess. You will like have some cringy moments in this movie.
Okay. Bald ham. I never forget that. I worked in a deli. This lady from the South. The hoagies we made, people would come from like North Carolina, Florida. They'd come for these hoagies in particular. They were pretty well known. So we'd wrap them dry and all that. And, all the tomatoes and stuff. We'd pack that separate so it wouldn't get soggy on their way back. And this woman, I'm guessing from the Carolinas, came up. She said, "Do you have any?" What I thought she was saying was bald ham, but she was saying boiled ham.
Bald.
And the crew was just making fun of me because they could see me trying to work this out as I'm talking to the woman. And me being me, I said, "Yeah, all of our hams are shaved." And she just looked at me. But yeah, every time I think of a ham, that's what I think of.
That's wicked. Yeah, sometimes you feel like such a schmuck.
Yeah.
And especially when little things like that, fine. But when people repeat themselves and you feel increasingly worse every time you say, I'm sorry, I'm still not understanding you.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so rough to like, okay, can you say that one more time, a little slower? My French teacher, oh fuck, I hate this guy. Mr. Tessier in grade 13. My French teacher was such a prick. I went up to him after class one time and I said, "Mr. Tessier, would you, I'm finding it very hard to understand when you're talking French. Would you be able to like enunciate a little better or speak a little slower?" The next class, he singles me out and he over exaggerates how slow he's speaking and enunciating. And he says, "Monsieur Paquette," basically in French, he's saying, "has asked me to," like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this day and age, the kids in high school, do you imagine what they would do to somebody who did that to them?
Oh yeah, they run them out of the school.
I just kind of cringed in my seat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, just
Yeah,
it
there's
really
always. I'm
paved
sure
my
everybody
door.
had a teacher like that who was just a dick to someone. Yeah, just to be a dick.
Like, how dare you? Like, who the fuck do you
Yeah.
think you are? Who the fuck do you think you are?
Somebody who could speak better French than you?
Well,
Apparently, yeah.
yeah,
He's getting paid to help the kid. Doesn't have to fucking, embarrass him.
yeah. Teacher is not in his vocabulary.
Well, yeah, but you're just you're still chomping at the bit over this though. And keep going. Just saying. Well, I mean, he was
Seppi's-
French too. What you expect?
Seppi tells me that he has a thing where he says, "I say the story 3 times, I retell the story 3 times, and then I let it go." This one's got about 100 times that mileage.
He's having a hard time letting go, apparently. Nah, I get you. Certain things.
Excuse me.
I was thinking about that today. Me and Chad were like, what got the board game that got me in the pandemic, in the hobby was Pandemic.
Uh-huh.
And I can remember the first time playing that, which is odd because I can't remember shit. But I remember we were sitting in the other room at the coffee table and I was opening it up and figuring it out. And then it clicked on me. This isn't like a board game I've ever played before. Just because it was the first co-op I've ever played. And
Sure.
the mechanics in it were different than I was used to. Yeah. Can you guys recall that? Like what the game that got you in the hobby, what you felt or
So it was a game day that got me in the hobby.
Mhm.
And I'll try and remember some of the games that we played that day. Skull and Roses was one of them. Or I guess they call it Skull now. They don't call it.
Yeah.
Love Letter we played that night too. This was probably about, what are we, 2023 now? So it's maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Okay.
Before that, the most modern game I'd played was Talisman, and when I was like 15. I went to Montreal to go visit a buddy of mine who had moved to Montreal. He was my DM from ages 12 to 14 or 10 to 14. And he left. And I was crushed because he was my best friend in my neighborhood. And I went to go visit him for a weekend. And he's with some buddies. And we played this game called Talisman. I'm like, this is amazing. I love this game. Got home. I bought Talisman, I bought the city expansion, I bought the dungeon expansion, all these things. And we ended up playing a shit out of that. Wish I still had it, but I don't. And then there was this one day I remember working at the museum and my coworker said to me, hey, we're gonna have some board games at our place on the weekend. You want to come play? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. No, it's fine, thanks. And then a couple of weeks later, he says, yeah, we're having some more games at our place on Saturday. Come play games with us. I said, yeah, okay, sure. So I got there at noon. I left at 11 and I was wrecked. Completely mentally wrecked. I think we also played Legendary. Marvel Legendary.
Yeah.
Maybe. That might have been
I've never played that version of Legendary, but yeah.
But Galaxy Trucker, maybe. Anyways, it was good. Yeah, that was what got me back into it.
Yeah, it was just how that game. Well, me and Jen stuff happened so quickly in the beginning of our relationship. Like she was just asking me when the year her mother would buy her a board game every year, mass-produced board game every year for Christmas or something. So eventually I picked up that habit. And she was asking when it was, and I was like, I can't remember. It was right before I started the channel and my mother died and all that. I think it was before we got married. So it was either 2010 or 11. I just can't remember exactly when, but I can remember the game.
Pandemic, yeah.
Well, it was it was Corkle and Pandemic. It was what I got her. And Corkle was a good enough game, and I remember playing that, with her. But Pandemic's the one that's stuck in my mind. But I can't remember which one came first. Jen says it was Corkle, but it probably was. But Pandemic's the one that unlocked the hobby to me, I guess. I think Mansions of Madness is the one that kept me in the hobby because I took that one personal. It took me a while to figure that one out. I think I jumped into that too soon in my journey in the board games,
Right. One game that I really kind of not gravitated to, but I really liked a lot early in my renaissance was Marrakesh.
Yeah.
With the carpets.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The different, like the fact that they used felt pieces, screen printed felt pieces. Feel free to chime in here anytime you want, Lance.
I'm listening.
He's doing work.
No, I know you're listening. But yeah, I don't know.
Marrakesh. I'm just thinking that song by Paul Simon, is it? Marrakesh? Yeah. Can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Anyway, never
Anyway,
mind. I'm just mumbling him in the back of my head. Another thing I wanted to talk about. My son somehow started watching TikTok videos about chess, and then he downloaded some app that allowed him to play chess against like an AI. But like it was more of like a chess puzzle. Like, can you get a checkmate on this setup in this many moves, that kind of thing. And then he finally said, he asked me if like I knew how to play, and I was in the chess club back in junior high, and I was like, yeah, absolutely.
so
I know
you
how to play
destroyed
chess.
him and he never wanted to play again.
And then he asked me if I had a chessboard, and I said I for sure have one, but it's at your grandma's house. We'll have to
Isn't that
go
like
to-
a rite of passage? Everybody has them.
we'll have to go to grandma's and find it. So we went to my mom's house. I went down to my old room. It's full of a bunch of my old stuff and a bunch of other stuff now. It's
How
got
much
storage
shit do you
room.
have, Lance? You got storage, your mom's house, your
Yeah,
house.
and no. I mean, we'll just put a giant dumpster outside my mom's house when she moves out of there, and we'll just throw everything away. No, and then
an episode of Hoarders.
and then no, it isn't that bad. It's just, I mean, like she just, she never throws anything away. I mean, it's literally something where like when the time comes to go through that house, like I'm gonna have to take like a leave of absence from work. I'm gonna have to just take 2 weeks and just go through things, right? And then like save the stuff that I want to save that I think is important, but also like have the yard sale to end all yard sales. And then also hire one of those rollaway dumpster people to just start loading it up with all kinds of things.
You never know. I thought I was going to have to do that with my mother, but she did it before us, basically.
Oh, my mother never will. But no, so I found my old chess set and I brought it, and my son and I have been playing chess every night. He has yet to beat me. We played, tonight's Alaboom was late because we were finishing up our game of chess. And man, he almost had me. I saw where if he had done like 2 different moves, he probably could have mated me, in about, like 4 moves if he had, because I realized after I moved, I'm not going to bore you with like queen to rook 4 or anything like that. I'm not going to bore you with that stuff, but basically I left myself open and I saw it and I was like, oh no. And then I thought he saw it, but he didn't take advantage of it. And then I was able to pin his king down about 9 moves later. But it's been fun. It's been fun watching him. I do let him take moves back. I like if he moves like his queen into a spot where it's easily gonna be taken by me. I was like, hey, you sure you want to do that? And then he'll look at it. I don't give him the reason. I'll make him look at it, and he'll go, oh no, I don't want to do that. I was like, all right, I give him that moment. And then I mean, it's just like it's one of those things where I tell him, I was like, your uncle, my older brother, taught me how to play chess about the same age he is. And I said, he and I played probably, 20, 30 times before I legitimately finally beat him. And I said, I'm not going to let you win. I was just like, you're going to have to earn it. And when you finally do beat me, it'll be awesome. And he's really good at it. He's better than me than I was when I was. So
that's cool. Is this the most strategic game he's played so far, or?
I mean, we play a lot of deck building games. Like he loves to play deck building games. He plays. I'll catch him sitting and playing what's that Slay the Spire. He'll sit there and play Slay the Spire on the PlayStation all day long.
That game aggravates me though,
Does
no
it?
end.
Oh, that game is just designed to give you that one really good run, and then it reminds you that like you got to come back and do it again after you have that one really good run. Because that's just how it works. or
My
whatever.
nephew was in them car. I'm hoping one day I'll get back to it, but women got in the way. He was at that age, He's getting in his 20s now. I'll probably come back eventually. But he was into them car games a lot when he was in around your son's age. And older, up until he's I guess about 14, 15.
Who are you talking
Yeah.
about?
My nephew.
Oh, okay.
He got really into them car games. Like I said, I'm hoping he gets back into it later on in life. We'll see. You know how it is. The hormones get in the way.
So I hopped on my Peloton bike
Oh, yeah.
today for exercise, and I've been lucky. You can search by music type,
Mhm.
because the first 2 rides I did were like, I'm like, yeah. not good. So I was looking for like rock and metal and all the not like, I wasn't in the mood for like Justin Timberlake. So I bookmarked a whole bunch of these rides when I was looking, because you can look on your computer instead of just on the bike. And I queued up one of the rides that says this tribute ride. I'm like, oh, cool, tribute, like there's tribute bands or something like that. That'd be fun, because the playlist was decent. So I started playing it. Right away, the female instructor, she's got like her voice is trembling and she's like crying almost. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Oh.
And then she starts talking, and then I'm like, clearly there's something going on that I'm not in on. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I don't care what the politics are on this. Let's just go. So 10 minutes into it, after like 5 minutes into the actual ride, after the 5-minute warm up, she kind of goes into, I get the idea that one of her regular students, I guess it was an older gentleman, had passed. So they're playing all his favorite songs. Tribute ride. I'm like, oh, right. Okay, well, that makes sense now. But I mean, it was just so bizarre.
So these things are live? Like you just walk
They
in
can
the
be.
middle of them? Oh,
They
okay.
can be.
I figured they'd be all pre-recorded stuff. Yeah.
So I think every live class, or maybe not every live class, but a lot of the live classes you can record. You record. They're recorded, and you can play them on
Right.
demand. I haven't attended a live class yet, just because scheduling for my schedule, it's like I want to do it when I want to do it.
Right.
But today was tough. It was like a hill class, so you're up off the saddle a lot, and
Yeah.
it's good though. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, that's good. I never
Yeah.
liked them bikes. When I went through physical training, the one leg's shorter than the other one now, but I could never get comfortable on them.
Yeah,
But if you can, that's good.
yeah, it's cool. I like it.
So do you think having this app or trainer, I guess you would call it, is helping you keep motivated with it, or is it just so brand new you don't know yet?
It's too early to tell. Really, honestly, what it is for me right now is it affords me the convenience that I need to remove the barrier of like, I don't want to go to the gym.
Right.
I don't wanna
Okay.
do that. It's like the bike is right fucking there.
Right.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way with the guitar right now. It's in sight, you got time.
Oh my God, my guitar's right there hanging on the wall. I haven't touched it in a year.
Really? Yeah.
Sell it.
I'm
Get rid of it.
new to it. Oh, you could.
No, never. I have one acoustic, one electric, and I'm never gonna get rid of them.
Yeah, I probably won't this. I was thinking about an acoustic, but I got one electric now, so I'll finish with this.
A little while ago, I did some work for somebody for one of the local music stores, and instead of getting paid in cash, I got an American Strat
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
had-
a $1,500 guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having it. This is a Les Paul version. It's an Epiphone, but it's a Les Paul version.
Epiphones are awesome.
Um, when I started, it was on an acoustic, and then I was self-teaching myself. It wasn't like I wasn't great to begin with, but at some point, I helped a friend of mine move, and they gave me a Ibanez Strat knockoff type deal.
Mhm.
And I'm having a trouble between the weight of the acoustic and the Strat is much less than the Gibson.
Oh
the
my
Les
God.
Paul, and
Yeah,
the
Les
weight
Pauls are
distribution's
fucking
like.
beasts.
So what I find am I doing is I'm like pushing down with my strumming hand, and I'm pulling down with my thumb on the neck because the weight's shifting up.
That's a bad habit to get into.
And I'm trying to break myself of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the curling that thumb around is a bad habit.
But then, there's a physical things with my hand. Like Jen called me the other day. I was sitting there putting dots on my fingertips. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I can't feel my fingertips. So at least I can see that I'm hitting the string right with the dots. I'm hitting it instead of hitting it with the fleshy part. I'm hitting it right with the tips. And she's just like, you're weird. I'm leaving. I'm like, all right. But like I said, it's right next to me. So anytime, I tell myself that'll only be 5 minutes. And it turns up to be, 20, 15 minutes, whatever at a time. And I do it a couple times a day.
What is it? There was a guitar thing that came out a little while ago that was really, a lot of people were raving about. Is it Musician? No.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
That's not it though.
I looked into a couple of them. I just recently started with just a book and the YouTube. I'll listen to it and then figure it out on the book. But I looked into a bunch of them, and some of them seemed too much like a video game where I wasn't teaching myself. I was just trying to.
Yeah.
And that was a musician, and there was another one, but it was like sort of like Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I want to train myself to know what the note is, how to read it, at least that, not just I got to do it because the thing's saying I have to do it, But it's
Fender Play.
Fender Play is one of them. Gibson has another type one.
Yeah.
Musician was like a general for not only guitars but piano and.
What's the one I was thinking of?
But even like the teaching methods changed since like I was in my teens, early teens probably. So 30 years ago. The teaching methods changed quite a bit. This is the best time in the world to learn how to do something with YouTube and the internet in general. Yeah. Because I remember even tuning, I was blowing on this almost like harmonica thing to tune the guitar. Now
that's
they
how I
got
started in 1985.
yeah, it had to be 90s, 92 maybe.
Yeah.
Now they got this guitar has one built in, but it also I have one on the neck, and I just ended up getting a pedal for it so I could tune the back end of the strings type deal.
Yeah, you can get the ones that just so I mean it's a real pain in the ass to try and do it by ear, but you can get these ones that just clip to your guitar.
Yeah, that's what I have now.
Do it by vibration.
Yeah. Yeah, but I remember blowing into the harmonica.
Oh yeah,
thing.
me too. I had a little white one with a little gold, little gold plaque on it that was like printed with like screen printed. Yeah, it had like 6 little breathing holes you could like for different notes of each part of the string. Oh yeah.
And then for some reason I remember it being tuned to the G standard, the key of G major for some reason back then. But guitars are E, they're tuned to the key of E mostly. That's the standard. But so I just realized I gotta forget everything I learned back then and start fresh. Yeah.
Oh, it might be Rocksmith.
Yeah, that's one of them. I think I looked at. It's where they got the notes coming down the string.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought that'd be too much like a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I was watching an interview with, it was definitely Slash said so, but I think it was Dave Grohl. Maybe they were saying how they when Rockstar was big, they came out, they tried to play it and they couldn't. And
Yeah,
Slash in
because it's
particular
completely
was,
different.
yeah. Slash was like, I had to bury it. I had to put it away because I was getting addicted to it, trying to beat the game, not trying to play, just trying to beat the game. Yeah, he's big in the pinball games and all that. Slash.
Well, it's because he's got all the money in the world and he doesn't have to actually do anything all day long.
But he
play.
still would. He's one of them guys like Dave Grohl and Chuck Berry and all them guys. They just love to play. You know, it's Prince was the same way. They just want to play. Yeah.
Did you ask them this or you just guess?
Oh, just all the interviews and stuff you see from him. It's just some people are like that. Paul McCartney. It's just
Don't
they
ruin
just
my fun.
want to play. Bruce Springsteen. Look at him. He's up in his 70s now, right? 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody ever said like. I don't remember anybody telling me that they thought Bruce Springsteen was like one of the most amazing guitarists in the world or anything like that. I'm sure I'm sure he's quite good. Better than me anyway. So
Yeah, guitar wise. He's kind of. It's. I look at Springsteen funny. He was in his heyday when I was growing up. I remember like going to school and the girls having a crush on the boss. Shit like that. But looking like older, looking back on his music and actually listening to it, I can see why people love him so much.
There's
Yeah.
a bluegrass guitarist named Billy Strings who's quite good.
Yeah, I think I heard of him. Yeah.
so it sounds like he had a name perfect for being a guitar player.
Yeah. What? Yeah, I doubt that's his last name. But and there's also this turtle lady. What's her name? She's a bluegrass artist as well.
Turtle.
What's her name? It's no. Molly Turtle. Molly Tuttle.
Tuttle. Okay.
Molly Turtle. I like Turtle better.
Molly Tuttle. She's fucking amazing.
I'll take your word for it.
I'll take your word for it. It's not death metal, man. He doesn't know what it is. It's not Swedish death metal. I'm sorry.
I listen to all kinds of music, but I'm not familiar with Molly Turtle.
Do you know who you'd like, Lance? If you
Molly Turtle?
Devil Makes Three. They're what they call
Devil
new
Makes
grass.
Three.
It's like new bluegrass. They asked them one time. They're all tattooed and everything. They asked them one time, who would you, if you could open for anybody on tour, who would it be? And they're like, Ozzy Osbourne, AC/DC, Iron Maiden. What's their answers?
Well, I guess I can respect those choices.
All right, I'm gonna skedaddle. I gotta focus on some work here. So that
what
before
do you gotta go do? What's so important?
we have
we
a
gotta
big
roll.
deadline at the end of this week that we're probably not gonna hit.
Well, what's it for?
Divinity Original Sin.
Oh, like the not the video game, but the board game based on said video game.
Uh-huh. The
Well, that's
one with
exciting.
1,200 cards.
That's all.
How many cards?
1,200.
Oh, she's getting risky there. She's stepping on the books, or is it a hate a cat?
No, I don't know. I'm not worried about that shit.
Sound good.
I'm waiting for the whole bookshelf to go.
Oh no, those books are just stacked on top of each other. I don't have a bookshelf. I gotta
Oh,
figure
that's
out.
even worse.
Well, I mean, he's not gonna knock them over. I mean, it's books are heavy. They're in a stack, right?
You don't know.
I gotta figure out where I can find not. I mean, I know you can like find bookcases that'll break the bank and they'll be amazing, but I gotta find bookcases that aren't going to cost me an arm and a leg, but also will
make your own.
You make your own, but I mean, man, I don't know. I don't trust myself to make anything, make my own that are gonna be.
It's easy, Lance. All you need is some glue.
Well, then why
and
don't you
a
come over here and
saw.
do it then? It's
If
so
you
easy.
didn't live so far away, I would. But
Well, no, I mean, no.
and I'm
I'll
not going to do it in the middle of February.
Why not? I got a heater in my garage. Sitting there. I got power
Yeah.
tools.
First, I won't be able to move for 3 days till my body acclimates. Yeah.
Well, there's a roach hotel that I can put you up in for a few days, and you can just chill out there.
Yeah, I have confidence you could build your own bookcases, Lance. It'll be quite easy. All you need is a circular saw and some plywood.
I
Some glue. Nails would help, but you don't need them. Yeah.
Books are heavy though. I got to make sure it'll support the books.
Oh well, 3/4 plywood will support that with no problem. 1/2 inch would most likely do it if you back it up right.
1/2 inch plywood. What do you think? I'm made out of money? That stuff's expensive right now.
It is, but it'll last longer than that chipboard shit they use these days. Yeah.
The Billy bookcases that IKEA sells, they sell a Billy bookcase once every 5 minutes. It's like the most commonly,
Yeah.
So, maybe you're not so accurate with your estimations there as far as that goes. They seem to be doing just fine. People all around the world have Billy bookcases. So.
Why do they keep buying them then if they're so good?
Well, it's because people eventually more people get more books.
It sells well, I understand that, but they're not good quality shelving. They really aren't. It's that chipboard shit that's always going to warp and bend.
Nothing IKEA sells is meant to last.
Enjoy your Swedish made piece of crap.
Yeah. Speaking of Jen, years ago, Jen did the DNA test for ancestry. We both did. I can't remember how long ago it was.
And
But
you
she
found
got-
out you were 100% jerk.
Yes, but I knew. I don't know my father's side that well, but I knew they were Scotch Irish. Reynolds could only be one of three things: Scots Irish, rather, English, or Norman, French.
Or aluminum.
It all goes back to Viking, yeah, or aluminum.
Reynolds wrap, come on.
I wish I had Reynolds wrap.
Nobody?
Yeah, like I haven't heard that my entire life. But I knew on my mother's side, it's Irish mostly. There's a little bit of English. The father's side, like I said, Scots Irish, and a little bit of English and German. So Jen gets this thing where ancestry did whatever, the test changes, whatever. And they can pinpoint where you're from now, apparently. Like they knew she was from southeast Poland, her family, So she looks mine up, and at sometime my sister did one of these DNA tests. So she started comparing them, and it's like, all right, you're 43% Scott Irish, but your sister's 42 or 41. I'm like, all right, well, there's a tolerance. And then it starts, saying there's some major differences. Like there's no German on her side, and then there's Switch and something else on Amanda that doesn't show up on mine. And we're blood. It's not like me and my brother where we're half blood. Me and Amanda are from the same father.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets to the locations, and it started listing off, Londonderry, Derry, which I knew my family, my grandmother's side from up there. Derry, Tyrone, Count Tyrone is where they're from. It didn't mention my grandfather's side at all, the locations. And I find this, I was trying to figure out, is this just because of, they're going by maternal, or I don't understand why my grandfather's sections weren't listed at all,
He was a Nazi.
No, he wasn't a Nazi.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I know I'm descendant from a
Nazis?
chief in Ireland. No.
Oh.
I'm Ocala, which modern day is Kelly or O'Kelly. You heard of Brian Baru? Cowick
No.
was one of his boys. All right. Modern day, but the Brian Baru clan is O'Brien. O means descendant of. Mick or Mac means son of. Nick or Knack means daughter of. Yeah.
in
But it's
in
just
New
weird.
Brunswick.
Go
In
ahead.
New Brunswick, so they say because there's a lot of the repeated names for people's first names, they'll go they'll say, I was talking to Paula Linda, which is like Linda's Paul,
Yeah.
or George's Mary and stuff like that, just to differentiate one Paul from another. It's funny. And it's all done in what they call the French version of Spanglish. It's franglais.
Okay.
It's like half French,
The
half
French
English.
version of
Yeah.
Spanglish? What?
Yeah, it's how
You know what
Spanglish is
Spanglish
half
is?
English, half Spanish. There's
Half
French
half
in there.
Spanish, half English. Spanglish.
Uh,
Franglais
sure?
is half French, half English.
If you say so.
I do. And on that note, have a great night.
All right,
You
good
too,
night, Matthew.
Matthew.
It's a weird night. Nobody
Yeah.
around. Nobody's showing up.
Nobody likes you.
No, I mean, what's there to like? But yeah, I don't know. We should here, let's do a rarity. We can turn it over to the crowd, and we can say, ask us a question, and then we'll give you our opinion on it. Nothing with morality clause in place. You can't ask anything super crazy. I don't think we've ever done this. If anybody's got a weird question, something you want to know our opinions on, we'll
Oh,
be
boy.
happy to
This could get ugly.
this could get
I'm sure we'll be fine.
I'm sure it will too. We don't have to answer. If people, if they ask us something really outlandish, we don't have to dish, as I think the word is, what the kids say these days. No, but other than that, I didn't, when you found out exactly what you were, was it a surprise? Or were you like, oh yeah, that's
Nah, like I said, it's kind of funny. I was talking to Jim, like, I know my grandmother's side's been here since one of them died in the Civil War. They were buried in Gettysburg. But
right.
he was the first generation of that side, which was one of her uncles or something like that. But when like her parents and all that came over, that generation, that first generation in the States, and I find this with most immigrants, they tend to bury the past. They just want to be Americanized. So I know parts of it, especially my grandfather's side, because they have a crest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, Kelly. It's one of the second. They have a color named after. It's a popular name in Ireland. Popular clan. Yeah. But there's all sorts of skeletons in the closet. Like with my grandmother's side, my great grandfather came over. It wasn't. I guess it was illegal. It was under false pretenses. He took a brother's name that was dead and came over, joined the army, got honorably discharged or dishonorably discharged. So they tended not to talk about the past too much. And this came about with the second, the next generation. Like my mother was in charge of all that. She knew all the birthdays and all that. And, so we were piecing it together, and part of this ancestry thing came in. So I wasn't surprised. I knew the Kellys were from Cork and Connecticut. I knew my grandmother was from Count Tyrone, which is up north, right on where the Troubles and all that shit happened. Derry, Londonderry is what it was called. I knew the Reynolds were Scots Irish. And I knew there was some German in there. It just surprised me that even though me and my sister are from the same DNA, basically, the differences in there. Yeah. I'm wondering how they come apart. Like I was saying, I think it's maternal. They're going back and instead of the paternal. Yeah. But no, it didn't surprise me. Even with Amanda with the Switzerland and all that, because they're Celts, it did surprise me because the way the Celts traveled, through Europe and on their way to the islands.
Fair. All right, here we go. I got a question. What's the best pizza topping from Tony Bosco? The best pizza topping, Barry. We made homemade pizzas tonight as a family.
Did you?
Yeah.
The best? I don't know. I personally like a white pizza with pineapple and bacon, or just a pepperoni with well done pepperoni. Yeah, but I like a thin, like a New York style.
I mean, when I like tonight, I made Canadian bacon sauerkraut, which is like a favorite of mine. But I have to be in a mood for it. It's good beer drinking pizza, but I didn't drink any beer. I'm a fan of like beef and bacon, maybe some onions on there. That's good. That's a good pizza. But I mean pepperoni. Hard to go wrong with pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's hard to go wrong. So here's a question. Well, you want question best OSR. That's not for you. You're not gonna old school rules. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, like hard to go wrong with Osric. I mean, it says right there, old school rules reference. I mean, it's hard to go wrong. I mean, it's basically Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, old school essentials is everybody's darling right now. Everybody's like, oh, I see. I mean, and it's a good rule set, but I mean, that's just basically BX. I mean, so it's nothing special. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to go wrong. I mean, it's really tough to, I mean, there's stuff I'm not a fan of. I don't really like Dungeon Crawl Classics. I mean, it's great for like a one shot, but the campaign is kind of pointless. It's just too gonzo with the rules. I'm not a fan of Five Torches Deep. It's too much 5e involved in it. I'm not. I like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean. I guess I really like Swords and Wizardry. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy, so I like that. So there you go. But I mean, I don't even play that though. I just play my So yeah, I guess here my favorite OSR is my version of the rules that I co-authored, ED&D.
We didn't see that coming.
That's a cheap answer, but it's a real answer. Will we see you at Geekway to the West this year? I don't even know if Grey Fox Games is going to be at Geekway to the West. And if they are at Geekway to the West, I don't see why Shane would pay money to have me come down there to be at that one when he could just run the booth himself. Oh, I give my chance at about 1 in 5. I mean, if Grey Fox Games is at Geekway, then yeah, I mean, if he needs somebody to be at the booth, but I mean, to get me down there and have a place to stay and everything like that, I mean, it almost defeats the purpose. So 20 to 25% chance is my chance of being Geekway to the West. I have been to Geekway. It was one of the last conventions I ever went to when I was still with TMG, and it was really, really enjoyable. I really liked being at Geekway. And actually, in truth be told, if I hadn't gone to Geekway, there's a really good chance that I never would have really become friends with Shane, because Shane and I really connected when we went there. We hung out and we played a lot of games together and we joked around and BS'd. And because he and I became really good friends there, we started hanging out and we hung out at Dice Tower, which was the one after that. And then he and I like kind of were inseparable there. And that's where like I realized that I wanted to, like, if when I saw the writing on the wall and I had a job, he's one of the first people I reached out to. And and he was actively trying to get me to come and work for him before I left TMG or was asked to leave TMG. But then, yeah, obviously I've worked there now for 3 years. God, it's been like 3 years. That's just crazy. I can't believe I've been working for him for 3 years. So I mean, if I hadn't gone to Geekway, I probably never would have been in the position I'm in now. So it's a fun convention.
Machine, I put up with you for 3 years.
Yeah, there you go. What's the most underrated RPG? In my opinion, I mean, an older one would be Deadlands. I mean, I don't think it's really underrated, but I mean, Deadlands when it first came out was really, really, really good. Earth Dawn was really, really, really good. Earth Dawn suffocated under its rules, but it was a wonderful idea for an RPG. Deadlands had like, I mean, now I'd hate Deadlands, but at the time when I played Deadlands, I loved it. I loved the rules system is way too complex. I think probably new Trophy. Trophy is a really good RPG that nobody knows exists. Track it down. I mean, it's well worth the play. It's super good. That'd be mine. Somebody ask Barry a question. Barry's got no question. Barry can't answer RPG questions.
Yeah, Barry knows it. I've only played one.
Yeah. So ask Barry a question, jerks. Do I recommend any of the Star Wars RPGs? David says. I've only played the old one, the old West End Games version, the D6 one, and I really liked that. And then when they came out with the book for it, the box set for it, like, the 20th anniversary or something for it, I picked that up. I mean, I'd play that again. I like that old 6-sided one. It was a lot of fun. And they had great source material. Oh my gosh, I wish I had all those old books. I was a buddy of mine. My buddy Matt actually had all the books and everything for it, so I didn't buy any of it. But I wish I had that stuff. It was so cool. It was so neat. Yeah. For you, Barry, how much weed do you go through in a week?
Depends on the weather. Anywhere from a quarter ounce to a half ounce.
All right, there you go. There's your answer.
My preferred one is Harlequin or Gorilla Glue.
David Killing says, favorite toy as a kid. Barry, what's your favorite toy as a kid?
It was either Constructs or Transformers. Probably Constructs though.
Mine had got to be like action figures, and very specifically Star Wars action figures.
Yeah, I was a little too young for that. That was basically over by the time I was old.
Yeah, I had tons of the old Star Wars action figures. So yeah. What's a popular RPG that you dislike? Well, I mean, 5th edition D&D. I really dislike that. I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious. I'm not a fan of Fate. I don't think that's really good. It's just like most of the. I mean, I don't like Savage Worlds. I don't really like that. I don't really like Rifts. But you got to remember, like, what's popular. I guess that anybody would know. When you say Rifts, people know it exists, right? I really liked GURPS. I thought it was a cool idea, but it was also just like that was also a kind of unusable system too. My favorite. So there that. Barry, Hart or Craftsman V20 tools?
To be honest with you, I don't use a lot of cordless anymore. I'm more like Makita anyway. But when I started, it was Craftsman. Yeah. Yeah, I say Craftsman. I use that with the trains a lot too. Craftsman, because of the lifetime warranties and all that.
A lot of the stuff I purchase now are Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, yeah, that seems to be.
We've got a lot of Ryobi stuff just because we have the batteries for them.
Yeah.
But like as far as like, I've been buying a lot of Ryobi stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was Makita when I was in construction. I was Makita. for a lot of it, especially the drills and the circular saws. But Milwaukee, I've used them, different types of saws. They were, framing saws, angular ones. But I noticed they've changed a lot too. Like back when I was building houses, compared to the saws now, they were like the ones that I used to use weighed a ton compared to these ones. Yeah, these are all plastic though now. These two. But yeah, from what I understand, Christmas is still a decent brand. I haven't used them with like the woodworking. With that, it's um, what is it? A lot of it's like Grizzly and I forget what the table saw itself is. A Delta? Yeah, probably a Delta or one of their knockoffs.
Yeah.
Nah.
um. So, most underrated TV show from the 1980s or before. I'm trying to think of old
This is all
1980s.
you, Lance.
Yeah,
The
I'm trying
80s
to
are
think.
fuzzy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to remember TV shows that I watched in the 80s that I really liked. And a lot of that stuff is it's so called classic now that it isn't. None of it is like, oh, it's underrated. I remember watching like that show That's Incredible. I used to love watching that, but that was actually pretty well liked as far as TV shows go. Greatest American Hero.
Mhm.
With and I'm trying to think of. Remember there was that string, like it was like with Magnum PI and Simon and Simon
Heart to
and
Heart.
Riptide, and every single show was like solving crimes. It was
Yeah.
like
Well, it still is today. Look at all the NCISs and all that shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Most overrated show from the 90s. I hate to say it, but most overrated show from the 90s. It's for like half of the episodes, X-Files easily. It was just like and especially the like later seasons when
Yeah.
the Coveney had left and everything like that. X-Files had like a 2-season epic, like fantastic run, and then it just fell off the rails. What do you think? Overrated TV show from the 90s?
90s, probably Friends, I guess.
Well, yeah, but that's just because you
Yeah.
don't like it. Like
No, I enjoy some of it, but I didn't see all the hype around it. Yeah.
well, like I said, anything with a laugh track is garbage. Like I can't even watch Seinfeld anymore because I'm just such a stuck-up jerk when it comes to it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you is.
Yeah,
I noticed that it was me and Jen were watching that 90s show. And they have, it sounds like it is a tape live, but it is like a track, and that I could see
yeah.
that it pulled me out a couple times.
Let's see here. Let's see here. Wrestling. Which era Four Horsemen was the best? Well, the first. The first era was with you can't be any better. If it doesn't have Arn Anderson and Ric Flair in it, though, you have to have the Enforcer. Basically anyone as long as Arn Anderson was part of the Four Horsemen. Arn Anderson, in my opinion, is probably one of the absolute best wrestlers of all time that nobody ever gave any credit. That guy, his moves were so crisp and clean, and he had like the best facial reactions. His promos, like he just would talk in that low tone, and he would just sit there and he would just in very measured way of talking. It just made you. It was like in a movie where like the mob boss is just telling you, he's telling you exactly how much he hates you, and you're going to die. He's going to kill you. It's just like, and he's just like, and it's just like, and he never really got And man, I mean, like lots of people do spine busters, but you watch Arn Anderson do a spine buster, and it looks like it literally breaks your back. It looks like you just broke the man's back when he does it. So
Sure, we paid for it.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Arn in that. So yeah, let's see here.
Just was
Any indie comics from back in the day that you loved and tried to evangelize? Nah, not really. I mean, I didn't really read a lot of indie comics. Though I did back the Kickstarter recently for Faust, which was definitely a not for
Faust.
kids, highly extremely violent, extremely sexualized comic that was in the heyday of the 90s that like tell their entire story. It took them like 15, 18 years to finally get all the comics out. And there was only like 20 some comics. And there was a Kickstarter recently. I just stumbled upon it where they are actually going to make they limited it to 666 copies of it or something like that. And it cost like $100 or something. And they and like it was a fully bound graphic novel with a bunch of extra art and stuff like that. So I backed that Kickstarter. I'm happy. I can't wait to get that. That'll be awesome. Because I've never read the whole thing. And like I said, it is not for kids. Voyagers, I don't even remember that show. That doesn't sound like anything I watched. Remember for a while there in the 90s when that was like when like the Hercules show like made a lot of money. So then they had the Xena, which made a lot of money. And then it was just like, what else can we throw against the wall and see which would stick? And all of them starred Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And like they had I kept on trying to, they just kept on trying to make them as much as possible. Oh man.
I just saw that Andromeda stream is on something, one of the streams. And I didn't realize that went on for like 5 or 6 seasons. I thought it was only like 1 or 2 and it was done. But yeah, he was the man back in the day, that Kevin Sorbo. And what's her name? The one who plays Zelda. I can't remember her name. She was in the Spartacus. Blood and
Spartacus.
Yeah, well, Lucy. What is her name?
That was a
Law?
good show.
Yeah, Spartacus was a good show.
And
Lucy
a highly
Lawless?
underrated board game.
Yeah, the combat's got some issues, but yeah, it's a good beer and pretzel.
Well, no, the combat, whoever had the highest speed won.
Yeah,
It
that's basically
it was broken. I heard that the reprint fixed it, though I didn't pick up the reprint.
I might look for that. I've only played with Jamie and them guys with the Secret Ball. They had the copy. We bring that out a couple times a year.
But winning the combat didn't matter. I mean, like just because you won the combat, yeah, you get a little bit of glory, but you could win without doing a single combat in that game. So
yeah, the combat was just for funsies. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was just to carry the theme, right?
Yeah, they had a good run. That Gale Force, was it?
Yeah, Gale Force actually produced a lot of really good games that nobody really gave them credit for.
I don't know how they're doing now, but yeah, they had a good run for a while.
Well, they make that Star Trek game that's really, really good.
The 3-player one, Ascension, not Ascension.
Star Trek Ascendancy.
Yeah. Yeah, I unfortunately had to get rid of that one, but yeah, that was a good game. It just never gets to the play table. Yeah.
It is tough. And since it limits it by it being just for 3 players, it limits it a lot. So
yeah, I'm pretty
but
sure
it is. It's really good, and it kind of accurately represents the whole Star Trek stuff. So
yeah,
does a good job.
Yeah,
there's a reason why it's still in print and they're still making expansions for it, right?
Oh yeah. I wonder what they're going to do if they got the license for this new Paramount implementation. The Discovery and the newest one. What was the newest one? Boldly Go. I can't remember the name right now. So that's the game you feel most represents Star Trek or best?
Oh yeah, it does the best job.
Yeah, I think I would agree from what I played.
Well, I mean, you can't have a quick game, with Star Trek. I mean, Star Trek's kind of an epic, feel.
Well,
or
it depends
whatever.
on what you could do an episodic one. Like it depends on which Star Trek you're going for. Like the first, the classic Star Trek, you do episodic ones with that. You know, the other ones started stringing things out, like especially Deep Space Nine and whatnot. Into an overarching theme. So I guess you could,
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's that.
but I've never played one that actually did it well. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. That when they came out with the new Star Trek, the new timeline, that the game they based on that was all right, if I remember right. I can't remember the name of it now though. With the Chris Pine cast.
Oh, that's Strange New Worlds, baby. I mean, that is so good.
No, not that one. When Abrams rebooted it, that cast, they had a game out. I can't remember who did it now. But that was okay, but it was kind of episodic if you looked at it. You were just going down to the planet, figuring shit out, coming back up.
Gotcha.
I can't
Yeah,
remember the name of the game
I
now.
honestly, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So, or I'm aware of it, or if I saw it, it completely lost. Like it's out of my purview, as they would say.
It's an older game. I could see the cover because it was the cast of the new. Is that the guy's name? Chris Pine? Or
The weird the alternate timeline
yeah, that
universe
one.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
What do you think best represents Star Wars?
Star Wars, like as far as a board game goes?
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars is really good.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it stinks that it's like basically 2 players only, but I mean, it's still really good.
Yeah. I like that Outer Rim, but it's a long.
Outer Rim is good, but it takes way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long. Like stupidly way too long. For what it is, I mean, it's just like, and there's way too much downtime in it too, where it's like, oh, well, yeah, take your turn. I'll be over here looking at my phone for 20 minutes. And which isn't. I mean, I don't want to play a game where like, I mean, basically people aren't paying attention to what's going on, and they're just, that's not my idea of a good time, I guess. I mean, it's just, it's weird. Like, and we've talked about this many times before, but I mean, like my ability to be patient and want to play a longer game. It's like if you could somehow make it so I was engaged, and admittedly, I mean, this is part of our whole problem in this society now is like that we need, it's like we because we're staring at our phones and doing everything else, we have this like feeling that we have to, Imperial Assault. Oh my gosh, I was so disappointed in that game. I was so excited when they announced that. I was like, oh, this game's gonna be amazing. It's basically Descent, but Star Wars. I can't wait. And then it came out, and I was like, wow, this isn't good. I was just like, for one, it was like there was no iconic characters. It was just like, you didn't. I mean, which admittedly I understand. You couldn't really like.
Wasn't that a licensing thing or something at first?
No, you just couldn't. You're not going to put Darth Vader and you killed him. Just like
I figured they had one.
I mean, I figured that was like one of those things where it's like you just couldn't, do that. That sort of thing. I mean, but yeah, I was really not impressed with Imperial Assault. It was, I mean.
I've never played Descent, so I can't compare. But I liked it. I liked what the system was, and not necessarily the.
Well, and then like the most recent Descent, I never got that. I mean, so.
Yeah, I've never played either version of it.
I played the original and second edition.
Yeah, it's the theme never dungeon crawls, you know, dungeons in general never really got me. If it were, you know, sci-fi or something, you know, maybe horror, you know. It's just the theme for me.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
fair.
it's a shame Fantasy Flight went down so much.
Well, I mean, it just, you knew that. I mean, and that's, yeah, I will fully agree. I remember, like, pulling, like looking at,
Little catalogs.
like looking, yeah, the old catalogs, like, and then seeing the new games that were coming, and like being super excited.
Yeah.
So, hey, somebody pointed this out to me when David Crosby passed away. They sent me this list. Listen to this list. We were just talking about this. And I was looking for this, and I finally found it. Musicians that are still alive in 2023 and their ages. So here we go. Topping the list at 89 years old is. Just take a guess.
Keith Richards.
No.
Huh?
Willie Nelson.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was
89.
He fucks me up. My grandmother used to call him a dirty old man. She hated him. And then, like, in my mind, all right, he's an old man. But what I didn't realize is he was only like 10 years. I actually think he was 10 years younger than my grandmother. You know, so in my mind, he's younger than he actually is.
So Willie Nelson is my mother's favorite singer of all time. And
Yeah, I like him.
And oh no, yeah, I think he's obviously an amazing human being. But
Musician, yeah.
my stepdad bought them front row seats to a concert. He got it as a gift or whatever, and they went to it. And he he came down. After the show was over, and just came down to like, and then and my mother asked him if she could have a hug, and he gave her a hug and a kiss.
Ooh.
And oh yeah. So it was just like, yeah. And then my my stepdad, and she said, and she's never washed her cheeks ever since. You know, just like, you know. But yeah, no, which is
How old's your mother?
But of course, my mom said that she didn't think Willie Nelson was like the most handsome. She said my dad took her, when they were dating, took her to a in Bismarck, North Dakota, took her to a Johnny Cash concert.
Oh really? I would like to
She
see him live.
She said Johnny Cash was the most handsome man she had ever seen in her life.
Really?
Yeah. So
how old is your mother, Lance?
she is 70. Well, you know what?
In her 70s.
A gentleman doesn't say.
No, I'm just curious at the time she grew up. So that would probably be what, the 50s?
Yeah.
50s, 60s?
Yeah.
Late 50s?
So,
yeah, she's about my uncle's age. Okay.
There you go. Late 50s, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I wonder what it would have been like to see like rock like in its infancy and then grow into what it did, you know, and then die off like it has.
So here we go. Number 2, 83 years old, Tina Turner.
I thought she was dead. Holy shit.
80, also 83. Grace Slick.
Who's that? Grace Slick.
Just, if you don't know. 82, Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
Also 82, the aforementioned Richard Starkey / Ringo Starr.
Mm-hmm.
81 years young, Bob Dylan.
Okay.
Also 81, Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Also 81, Neil Diamond. Sweet Caroline. Ba-da-ba. 80 years young, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Also 80, Paul McCartney. Here we go. 79 years old, Roger Waters. That's Pink Floyd.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you don't say you know who it is, if you don't say anything, I mean, maybe assuming you don't know. Okay.
Oh, usually I'll say if I don't.
All right. 79, Steve Miller. Also 79, Barry Manilow.
I thought he died too.
Also 79, Mick Jagger.
Big Jack. Oh, so Keith Richards is younger. Huh.
So then 78, Peter Cetera. 78, Rod Stewart.
Still kicking the
Also
ball.
78, Boz Scaggs.
Oh, Skaggs. I don't think I
Also,
know.
also 78, Ray Davies. And also 78, Carly Simon.
Oh, really?
All right, now here we got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 77 years old. All these people are 77 years old. We got John Fogerty, Debbie Harry, Mr. Night Moves himself, Bob Seger, Eric Clapton,
He just had a guitar that didn't show.
Roger Hodgson, and though he can't hear me, I'll yell, Pete Townsend.
Oh, that ain't right.
All right. 2 at 76. We have Linda Ronstadt and Barry Gibb. 4 at 75. And this, the first one, I can't believe he's still alive. Iggy Pop, still alive, 75.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Joe Walsh, life's been good to me so far. Carlos Santana and Elton John.
Elton John. How old is he?
75.
5. I thought he was older.
5 at 74. Stevie Nicks, Alice Cooper, Robert Plant, Alan Parsons, and Steve Winwood. Okay. 2 at 73, The Boss, Bruce Springsteen, and Lionel Richie, still dancing on ceilings.
Yes.
And then rounding out, we have in the 5 left in the set. This only went to 72 years old. 5 at 72. We have Peter Gabriel, Billy Squire, Billy Joel, Peter Frampton, and a very superstitious Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Very superstition.
Oh, really? He's only 7. I thought he was older.
Riding on the wall.
So they're all, wow, it's a whole generation when it dies. And it's fucked up to think about. And did you grow up listening to like a variety of music? Or was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Did your kids grow up listening to that too, or no? I'm just curious. Like, there's some people who don't know who Led Zeppelin are, and shit like that, because rock kind of they shifted to pop and R&B and all that. But I'm just curious, like, people who I think are like standards, these some kids don't know about anymore. I'm just curious if it's just a taste thing, or you just don't grow up with this. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not only talking about like rock in particular, but like Western and country and rap in its infancy, back in the 80s and all that. You don't know?
Yeah, it's just my experience, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I grew up listening to a lot of stuff. Yeah. And my mother did too. It surprised me. Like, what was it, Metallica, but it wasn't. It was like Saint Anger or something. I forget. She knew what it was, and that just surprised me. Yeah, and because she didn't really listen to that type of thing. She was oldies and Rod Stewart and all that, the country and pop and disco and all that.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
I
it
agree.
just even even the rap stuff. She knew Dre and all them, which surprised me. Yeah. What's your cat doing?
Just
He's
I don't
gonna
know why.
die. Oh, he did.
And he just I don't know why. I think he gets too warm and he likes to go sit in by the window there.
Yeah.
And if I lower the blinds, he just fights at the blinds until he
You can
ruins
see,
them
yeah,
until he gets
yeah.
through because he just won't just give up.
Yeah, my sister's cat's like that.
So I just when in about a month or so when this desk will be over there, he won't have a way to climb up anymore. So he'll be screwed because he's too chunky to jump. So
He'll figure it out. He may
Or he
destroy
won't.
something on the way, but he'll figure it out.
Oh yeah. That's what they do. They just ruin everything they touch.
Yeah.
Um,
You're messing up their shit, man. How would you like to come home and all your shit's rearranged one day? Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. Well, I don't know, unless somebody's got any questions for us, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I mean, I appreciate everybody hanging out and toughing it out. And I mean, I don't know what the deal was tonight. It just was one of those random nights where not a lot of people, but you can always count on Barry and me to be here, trying to entertain, trying to get people excited. Yeah. But I remember I went to a Fugazi $5 show. It was at the Moose Lodge in Fargo.
Moose
And
Lodge.
they were horrible.
Really?
Like it was like one of the worst shows. I mean literally like everybody I talked to that went to that show, everybody said, I'm glad this only cost $5. And it was like, it was
Yeah,
I don't know. Lots of people talked about Fugazi to be like this amazing, like, and I never understood the love for that band. They were fine, I guess, but I never saw it as whatever, but whatever. It's fine, but it cost me $5. I got to drink Rough Rider beer, and then I got to complain about it. And here I am years and years and years and years later, and I'm complaining again. So obviously, I got my mileage out of it.
you guys imagine them $5.
Yeah, that $5. But what do you do? Just hate everything.
Hate everything. Not good for you. Gotta find some joy in life.
But
Like shit on board games. My brother called me. His wife's car got stolen. It was either New Year's Eve or New Year's night or the following day, or New Year's Eve or the following day. They're not sure exactly what. But some 15-year-old kid stole it, ran it into another car, flipped it, got arrested. Within 2 weeks, they were in court prosecuting the kid. And here it turned out the kid broke into a car lot and used it as a demolition derby thing. Just started banging up all these new cars and shit. And they were investigating him then as while he stole the other car, my sister-in-law's car. And I'm like, well, what is it? Why would this kid think at 15 he could go into a car lot and just bang up people's cars like that? Like, it just drove me. I just found it really shocking. Not only that it happened so quick, but then he was saying about the investigation and all that. But that's crazy, man. Would you think about breaking into a car, a car dealer, and, breaking into a car and then banging into a bunch of other cars at 15? Apparently not. Apparently he's doing work. He doesn't pay attention. Still not paying attention.
I mean, can the album today get your review of Arkham Horror Third Edition? A pile of garbage. A pile of
Yeah.
garbage that didn't deserve to be put into the cardboard would have been better suited to as kindling than to be put into that game. I can't believe they took a game like Arkham Horror, which was Arkham Horror Second Edition has a lot of warts. I am going to fully agree that there's a lot of warts, and it is a super long game. It has tons of problems and issues. But it's just flat out fun. It is just, even with just the base game and that's it. It is fun, and you laugh and you cry and you scream and yell and you lose and you don't care. And so, and third edition was their attempt to try to, I don't know, simplify it, streamline it, make a lot of money off of making a lot of expansions for it. That's all I can think of. That's what they were trying to do. And instead it was just a pile of wet turds that somebody just smeared on your front door that you didn't notice until you came home from work. So that's my review. I bought my copy, super excited. I was like, hey, here's the next step in this game that introduced this bigger hobby to me. And I was super excited, and I got it, and I, started, and then I opened it up, and I was like, oh, and I was like, well, let's just give it a chance, and I'll play it. And I played it once, and I was like, this is garbage, and then I think I sold it for $5, $10, and was done with it. Went on with my life. That's my opinion.
How do you really feel, Lance? Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting.
What fun?
I was expecting them to streamline second edition. Get rid of some of the clunkiness and all that in second edition. Which I do enjoy second edition, but it does have its problems, like you said. I wasn't expecting Pandemic rethemed, or a mishmash between that and Eldritch Horror and Pandemic. And you're right, it's way too long for what it is. Yeah, I'm the same way. I played it twice because I thought maybe I was playing it wrong, but I got rid of it shortly after getting it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just find a second. I'm glad I have all the stuff for second edition because I don't have to worry about it. But
I believe I do too. I gotta look. I don't know if I got that one. I was trying to fix mistakes from the beginning. How they were trying to merge. I can't remember what was that. The university one.
yeah,
I don't know if I got that or not. I think I do, but yeah, it's a shame.
it is a shame. So, all right. Well, let's call it an evening. Thank you everybody for tuning in for this session of the Alaboom. We didn't do any initials because we never had enough people here to do it. So maybe we'll do 2 next time. Reminder, if any of you want to come up to Moorhead, Minnesota, February 24th to 26th, let me know. I'll arrange. I can pick you up from the airport.
You can pick it up from here.
Yeah.
Get you into a Roach Motel.
Yeah, there you go. I'll find you the crummiest hotel. I'll find a no-tell motel for you to stay in.
Right by
And,
the airport, so you hear them all day and night.
Yeah, there you go. All right, everybody. Have a good night.